coaching and how the season went.
Yeah, I'm currently at Durban High School. Yeah, it's my 10th year there. Yeah, and what an amazing season. We went unbeaten in KZN, and we're number 5 and number 6 in the country. So for a school from KZN, that's great. And that's for the management and the players, the hard work, and just the enjoyment to work with kids and to see maybe to make the next Springbok. And to give back, you know, like I mentioned, I played a couple of years and played here and there, just to give the knowledge back to that players to see how they grow. And I could see some of the players that came through my hands where they are playing SA schools, SA under 20, and then getting into the Currie Cup system, Super Rugby, and then becoming Springbok. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
No, great to hear from a KZN point of view. I do have an admission. I didn't tell you earlier, but I am a Glenwood old boy. We're fighting our way back. We'll get back. There's cycles, and we've seen it over the years. But and I would love to see DHS playing Glenwood again. I've been praying for it for a while, but let's hope we get there.
Yeah.
As far as the Currie Cup final is concerned, just looking back at the semi-finals, I mean, I don't know how many tries were scored in both semi-finals, but that's what you want to see at that level. And that Sharks-Bulls game, I mean, how did the Bulls end up not winning that?
Yeah, till today I've spoke Basil about it because if you look the way they were playing and how they're dominating and sometimes, but listen, all hats off for the Sharks. Yeah. They just show some guts there and determination to be in this final, and they deserve it. Unlucky for the Bulls fans, I think they celebrated a little bit too early. But yeah, the black and white came through, and they took the game to get to the final today.
A number of players have moved between the two provinces of Lions and Sharks. You know, if you think of Nahamba, who was at DHS, and Marius Lowe, Reinhard Jonker, a Glenwood old boy. Yeah. Renzo Duplessis was with the junior Sharks for a while. Yeah. And then other way around, James Fenter came to the Sharks a few years, the Chituka brothers who recently arrived, and of course Jordan Hendrickse. Yeah. How will that help? I mean, especially the guys that have recently been in the opposition camp. Will they know anything, or do things get transferred over a number of seasons?
No, I think everything changed. There's so much, like you said, there's so much movement going on into rugby, you know. So I think the game changed, and every coach got a different aspect how they're doing stuff. I don't think they will have so much info, but you never know. They're all good mates, and it's definitely one thing I can tell you today. There will be some brutal rugby going on there, and guys who want to show what I got in. You left me, you took me. So that's the lucky part about it.
Well, the game is kicking off shortly, but let's get to the most important matchup, the guys up front. Ntlabakanye versus Mkunu. Your thoughts on those two players, where they could go in the future, and then also the scrummaging battle today?
Yeah, definitely. One or two exciting props. Tighthead against a loosehead. Two very good boys and coming through the systems.
Both KZN boys.
Yeah, so very good with the hands. And the scrumming wise, I think that's going to be a great matchup today. The guy is, look at his try last week, it looks like a centre stepping and going. And then Mchunu, who was an 8-man at school, now in a loosehead position and played for the Springboks as well.
Of course, Inyakane did something similar to win the game.
Yeah, no, I was jumping off my chair because that's what I like it. The props is in the game.
You did mention to me you enjoyed scoring tries.
Yeah, I must say that's one thing. Not as much as I enjoy scrumming because that's but yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, what a game for this Oaks, and opportunity again, like you just said, youngsters.
Talking while we up front, in your day when you started playing rugby, crouch engage, simple, you know, easy for a prop to remember. Then of course, they doubled that: crouch, touch, pause, engage. Those three options?
No, they took the fun out of it. They took the fun out of it because, like I mentioned earlier, it's the contest. Contest. I know they tried to make it fair. But in the older times, and I don't want to give my age away, you know, that was engage and you go. There's no stop. The handbrake is off and you just keep going.
Even further back, the ref wasn't even involved.
No.
They got together and scrummed.
Yeah, I watched the clip for a couple of years ago, a few years ago, when it was just going. They're binding, the locks is not even in yet, and they just go. So that was amazing.
Well, we're a few minutes away from the start of the Currie Cup final. 14 and a half because there was the one draw between the Bulls and the Cheetahs back in the day. Away wins in the Currie Cup final since 1990. So with the Sharks, yes, they played longer, they played later, they had to travel back home. The Lions are the favourites, no doubt about it, and they've had the season to deserve that. But they certainly shouldn't underestimate this team that's got a few Springboks back in, namely someone like Andre Esterhuizen.
Yeah, definitely. And the Currie Cup away teams winning the Currie Cup final. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But what a game! Two teams that deserve to be in this final. And yeah, let's hope for the best, one of the best Currie Cup games it can be.
And then also, I mean, as much as the loose-head prop is extremely important, the fly halves often control the game. Nohamba versus Masuku, how do you see that battle going?
Yeah, I think also two very explosive and up-and-coming youngsters who've been around. I think two very good ballers. When Nohamba got the attacking game, I think Masuku got a better kicking game and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. But yeah, two generals on the field, and that's what you're going to need today in this final.
I think it's fair to say that the Sharks' fortunes changed from when Masuku started playing this year, and he had multiple man of the match awards. And I was surprised. I was excited when they announced last year that he was signed, and then you didn't see him for the first half of the season. And once he came in, it just seemed like he was meant to be there.
Yeah, I think he was waiting for that opportunity, and he showed that hunger to get, I think, four games, man and match. That was getting a call up to the Springboks, and it's well deserved. You know, he worked hard for it. He was sitting in the shadow of one or two other guys, but now he's there, and he shows his class. And definitely being unlucky not to be in the Springbok camp, and the same can go for Nohamba. So two very good rugby players.
Well, the Sharks are out onto the field. We will start with commentary in a couple of minutes. Just the Currie Cup as a whole, where do you see it fitting into the system? It was surprising that they organised the final on the weekend of the opening round of the URC, and they had to move those matches, and quite a few of the coaches were irritated by that. Yeah. You as a coach, you do planning months ahead of time, and especially at a professional level, you know exactly what you're doing every single day leading up to the start of a competition. So it must have been a bit of disruption for them, but also, what is the point of winning the Currie Cup? I mean, yes, lifting that trophy. I'm sure every rugby player would love to do that, but then what? You know, the Pumas, a team that you played for, won it a couple of years ago, but what was their reward? Yes, they lifted the trophy, but you know, could there be some promotion relegation system possibly into the URC or the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, that's why, you know, that's the funny thing that you bring it up. So you win it, and where you go, especially for a small union like the Pumas. And I agree. Why don't you get a chance to go and play in the URC or even in the European Cup, like the Cheetahs is currently going? Give the guys an award for what they're doing. But yeah, it's a difficult situation. The planning wise, like you said, yeah, it's out of the. I think it's not. Like you can plan as much as you want, but whatever comes from the top, you need to adapt to it. And I think they're doing a good job to adapt to it.
They're about to sing the anthems. Are you going to do that for us?
No,
you took a second to make that up. You're not Talks van der Linde.
No.
Yeah, well,
it's scrubbing and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's obviously cold here. They say I think it's about 17 or 18 degrees in Joburg, and it will get colder as the evening progresses. It doesn't look like it's raining, which is a good thing. Andre Esterhuizen, we were chatting earlier about it, and that red card he got against Portugal. Yeah. You know, I'm of the opinion that a red card should be malicious foul play. You know, I'm sure in your career, you knew when someone tried to hurt you on purpose, or if it was a legitimate tackle. Yeah. And they seem to not be able to distinguish between the two. If you get kneed in the back or on the head or punched or eye gouged, that's obviously a straight red and a 10-week ban. But Francois Venter's tackle last week, around the arm, and they happened to accidentally knock heads. Yeah. Not something he was intending to do. There's got to be a distinction between the two.
No, I agree. I think sometimes the Oaks are getting too trigger happy with the cards. And rugby is rugby, you know. It's not like a touch game and stuff like that. And unfortunately, Yeah, sometimes it's going 50-50, but I agree 100% with you. If you go out to herd it out there, yeah, definitely a red card. But I think also just look at it. If it's for purpose, 100%. But if it's a mistake, the guy dip or something like that, let it go. It's a penalty. Worse is a penalty, and let the guys play, or a yellow card. But a red card, it takes the whole game away.
And within the same game, we could compare the two decisions of Marcel Coetzee's yellow, which, in my opinion, if it wasn't at least the same, it was probably worse.
Yeah.
Yet he got a yellow, and the ref found mitigation, but no mitigation in Fenter's. Yeah. It's, you just don't want to see that. And of course, now Fenter is not playing today, and he misses out on the chance of lifting the Currie Cup, It's one of those things, I suppose, in rugby, and I understand they're trying to avoid as much head contact as possible because of the issues surrounding concussion.
Yeah.
But you have to look at the intent, in my view, and I think there's just too much inconsistency across the board. Look, it's almost an impossible task for the referees. Having said that, they've got TMOs who can slow it down, which, in a weird way, sometimes gives you a false impression.
That's exactly what I just want to say now. Real time, slow motion makes it always 10 times worse. Real time is the right thing, and that's the pity about it, because you slow down. If you look at the World Cup, the World Cup was just cards, left, right, and centre. So it's a pity that it becomes that way, but that's what it is.
Okay, before kickoff, what's your prediction?
I'm going for the Sharks. Sharks by 6.
Sharks by 6. Okay, I've got to try. People might have picked up I'm a Sharks supporter. We are here in Durban. And here at Crusaders, we can hear everyone singing the anthem, and hopefully you'll hear some noise from the hundreds of people that are here. And Masuku kicks off. Oh, it's taken, no, it hasn't. It's gone backwards. Decent clearance.
Ja, goeie aanvalsgeleentheid hier so vir die Sharks met hierdie ingooi. Gewoonlik dink ek hier sal ons kyk of hulle die bal gaan gebruik of van hulle vir Esterhuizen opsit hier in die middelveld.
What is your ideal exit strategy for your boys?
And it all depends, what team you play. So normally when you get a lot of pressure on you, you're going to set it up and you're going to kick. But
Mbata into corner roll. The Sharks set up the maul. Let's see who will...
Going slowly but surely forward there.
Oh, it's breaking up. The ball comes out the back. Keita picks it up. The Sharks slowly moving their way forward. Bradley Davids to Mavasere. Or shall I say, Chituka? And it's a penalty. The Sharks sealing off there.
Ja. Geen spoor daar gehad in baie oomblik nie. Afgegaan. Niemand het oor die bal gegaan nie. En 'n geleentheid gegee vir die Leeu's om die bal te vat.
So Sharks off their feet at the ruck. Nohamba kicking to the opposite side touchline. Oh, it's flat. It bounces and it's not out. Ethan Hooker takes it. The retreaded left winger, normally playing centre, had a very good game at left wing last week. Davids to Masuku. He kicks it up into the Joburg sky, probably a bit too far. And Nohamba gets on his knees. He takes the mark and quickly takes it. And it's a very good touch finder. He made up for the penalty kick.
Ja, that was a woer skop.
Don't know what the wind situation is like, but he certainly didn't get everything onto that one. So it will be a Sharks line out, just inside their own half. Bit of a conference happening there. Fez Mbata. Looks like a short line out, or the Sharks are taking their time to come in. Emil van Heeren takes it comfortably. Sharks set up another maul. They're moving nicely forward. Mbata back to Davids. The box kick. It's a good one. Interference from Keita. Lions player cleans up just outside their 22, and it's a penalty.
Ja, dat lijkt vandaag op die Sharks. Hier zo die Leeu's met 'n paar hoë balle gaan peper en dat op die oomblik so ver werk. Baie goeie opvolg gehad deur Kuyter. En wie kan ons dalk met die eerste punte gaan haal toe? Maar nee, dit lyk of hulle gaan vir die kantlyn.
So tackler not releasing there. Masuku just outside the 22 and will kick it for the corner.
Ja, daai vorige mol van die Sharks was ongelooflik geweest. So hopelik het hulle dink hulle die oorhand hierso en hier gaan hulle vir die 7 punte in plaas van die 3. So kom ons kyk of hulle die regte besluit gemaak het.
And it was former Lion Emmanuel Manu Chituka with the attempted steal. Fezembata at the back. Oh, and the forwards, the backs join it, but then they pass it out. Masuku gets tackled. The ball pops out the back.
Turnover. Knock on. Ja, goeie werk gehad deur die Leeu's. Skram onder druk daar, die loskram onder druk daar gesit, bal uitgespat. Ja, en die knock-on gefors daarso en nou die Sharks weer geleentheid met 'n skram in die 22. First one of the eerste een van die wedstryd. Kom ons kyk wat gebeur hier.
I can see the excitement in Ronnie's eyes and in his voice, the first scrum of the match.
Ja, ons het hierheen gepraat voor. Kom ons kyk wat maak hierdie youngsters. En ja, dis in die 22 baie goeie aanvalsgeleentheid hierso vir die Sharks. Daar word 'n bietjie repairs gedoen daarso met die pleister. Nou lyk my na daai turnover wat hy gemaak het, maar ja, hier kom dit nou. Baie jong voorry. So ja, hier gaan ons.
I've heard a number of people talking up Hanru Jacobs.
Ja, Andre Wille, youngster also coming nicely through the ranks. Ek dink hy het sy geleentheid gegryp. En ja, hierso speel hy in sy eerste Currie-Cup finaal. So kom ons kyk wat gebeur nou hierso. Hy speel teen 'n goeie seun wat daar van die finaalspruit afkom voorheen vir die Pumas gespeel. So dit gaan baie interessant te skram wees. Kom ons kyk wat gebeur hierso.
Only 3 kgs. 10 kgs between the two packs. The Lions with the 10. What are we seeing?
Die loskop 'n bietjie die oorhand daar gehad toe Andre Jacobs, bietjie hoog gewees aan daai bind en daarso het hy skade gemaak. So ja, wel verdien daarso om daai strafskop uit te werk waar hy die moeilikheid was.
Well, first blood to the Lions as far as the scrum's concerned. And for the Sharks team, hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. Nahamba with a good penalty clearance up near the halfway line.
Ja, ek kan nie sien Andre Jacobs bietjie hoog in daai ding. Ek dink is Morgan wat mooi onder hom ingekom het en hom uitgevat het. So ja, ek dink net Andre moet net bietjie sy staan verander en bietjie laer wees, dan sal hy weer regkom daarna. Maar ja, wat 'n goeie skram deur Morgan.
One thing we are not short of in this country is front row forwards, most certainly. Goes to the long ball, and the Sharks managed to disrupt that line out. Somehow Niku Steyn, we did have someone offside at the ruck. Reinhard Jonker.
Ja, Brendan, nou die vraag is, hoe sal jy geniet om 'n ander Esterhuizen van voor af te vat?
Nee, ek sal baie ys nodig.
Ja, Reinhard Jonker soos jy voorheen gesê het, Glenwood Oldboy, ook van die Griekwas afgekom waar hy sy geleentheid gekry het en nog 'n ouetjie wat hier van KZN wat in die Currie-Cup finaal speel vandag.
Yeah, a number of KZN boys amongst these two teams, and I mean, you couldn't have been more offside than that.
No.
He was basically the second scrum half of the Sharks. The people in Joburg are wrapped up nice and warmly. Beanies and the whole story.
Ja, die koue weer het hulle nie weggehou nie. Daar was ons die hoofafrigter van die Leeu's. Zwaki, met 'n baie goeie werk in Lance en Wesselroo. Ou Springbok stit wat nou aan die stuur is daar by die Leeu's. Wat baie goeie werk doen.
A number of really good young coaches coming through. Of course, JP Peterson turned things around amazingly in the Currie Cup this year for the Sharks before he went back to the under-20s. Just outside the 22, Fezembata throws in. Emil van Heerden takes it. And he's taken out. So, advantage to the Sharks. Esterhuizen passes back inside. To Hooker. Davids. To Mbata. Just short of the 22. Davids again to corner Ral. Good defense from the Lions. He makes a meter. Bradley Davids, Masuku. Passes it to Hendrickse, who passes around the back. The ball goes backwards. No advantage. The referee goes back for the penalty.
Ja, 'n bietjie voor die tyd daar die man in die lug gespeel van daai lyn staan af en dis hoekom ons hierdie strafskop het. So
a lot can be said for taking your points in the final. They probably could have had 3 already and probably 6 if they had gone for poles here. But they back themselves. The maul's been good so far.
Hulle hou die bal mooi daar, so jy kan sien daarso word hy in die lug gespeel, Emil in die lug gespeel. So kom ons kyk wat gebeur met hierdie een. Dis 5 meter van die doellyn af. So kom ons kyk wat is dit hulle op hierso. Lyk vir my soos 'n vol lyn staan of 'n 5-man lyn staan. 5-man lyn staan wat hier gaan gebeur.
Fezenbata. Emil van Heeren takes another safe line out. The Sharks set up the maul, inching forward. The Lions desperately trying to curb them. Andre Hesterhuizen joins. It goes down to ground. No penalty, it seems. The ball was out.
Ja.
Great work from Renzo Duplessis.
Ja.
What a find he has been this season. We had a chat to him a couple of weeks ago. Go to Octafield.tv for his interview. And now the Lions take it down the back line, but it seems to have gone forward. They're playing on. Niku Steyn clears the ball. Playing with fire there, the Lions.
Ja, Brendan, jy sien dit nie sommer in 'n finaal gebeur nie. Die manne speel bietjie die bal, laat die bal gee die bal bietjie lig. Maar gewoonlik waar jy sal sien sal hulle skop uit hulle 22 uit. So dit amper daar teen hulle gewerk, maar gelukkig het Niku Steyn al gered, uitgeskop en uit hulle gevaarsone uitgekom.
Top try scorer in the competition this year. Very unusual for a flanker, Renzo Duplessis.
Yeah, up and coming youngster. Let me think about Hendrik Persoon. Same build, same height, and he loves the loose ball. So yeah, so baie goeie speler vir die toekoms dink ek.
Very good head-to-head with James Fenter today. He's been playing good rugby.
Yeah.
Corner roll, straight over the top to Davids. Flat ball to Esterhuizen. He's over the 22. The ball comes out. Davids to Fezenbata. Gets through one tackle. Nice quick ball from the scrum half. Ball might have gone forward. Yes, the referees picked it up. I think it was Ethan Hooker who went down to ground. No, it was James Fenter. Just as I gave him some plaudits.
Ja, by die oomblik die Sharks het al die bal geniet sover, die hele tyd op die aanval en die Lions wat glad nie sleg doen op hulle op die defense nie. So ja, op hierdie oomblik Sharks speel uit die rugby. Ek dink die Lions wil graag uit hulle halfgebied uitkom en ook 'n kans kry om die bal te dra, maar kom ons kyk wat gebeur hierso. Nog steeds in die gevaarsone, tweede skram van die game en kom ons kyk wat gebeur.
We're into the 12th minute of the 2024 Currie Cup final being played at Emirates Airline Park. Niku Steyn about to feed the scrum. The one and only scrum so far resulted in a penalty for the Lions. Morgan Nordia showing Hanru Jacobs exactly what he's made of. Steyn lines it up, basically throws it under the 8th man's feet, like all the scrum halves do these days. Nahamba clears it downfield. A very good kick, but it wasn't out. Hendrickse attacks from the back. He goes right, he goes left. That's a good run from the Sharks fullback, but it looks like it's turned over by the Lions. Advantage to the home side. The Lions very good on the ground so far. Mafura to Nahamba, they're going down the back line. Yonka with the big skip out pass. Renzo Duplessis. And unfortunately the ball goes to ground. There was no way that Mafura was going to pick that up off his feet in these conditions. Unfortunately, Duplessis, one of the few mistakes he's made so far in this Currie Cup.
Ja, lekker aanvalsgeleentheid daar vir die Lions, die bal bietjie wyd gebring. Jammer oor die laaste paas daarso. Maar Brendan, een ding wat ek opmerk is die Lions gee die Sharks 'n pak slaag en die losgebal. Hoeveel keer is dit bal wat hulle nou al gesteel het of die bal verloor in kontak. So pleitjies daarso aan die Lions wat daai geveg wen.
That previous scrum, both front rows went up and the referee didn't deem that to be a penalty on either side. I always like when the referees rather err on the side of caution and let play go unless there's something obvious.
Ja, en dan moet ek een ding sê, hierdie Morgan Odea, as jy na hom kyk, hy lyk nie soos 'n stit nie, maar hierdie seun het ongelooflike krag. En op hierdie oomblik Andre wat bietjie sukkel laat teen hom, maar kom ons kyk wat gebeur hierso nou weer, maar hierdie Morgan Odea, is hard werkende skrammer, jy kan sien hy weet wat om doen. Hy's reg om te gaan, hy lek sy lippe af.
Crouch, bind, set. That's what they do these days. They've had to reset the scrum.
Maar met 'n man met Visagie daar in die middel ook. Ek meen Visagie wat lank by die Bulls was. Hy was daar oral gewees en dit bring 'n baie groot ondervinding. Met Fats Betta wat nog 'n youngster is. So miskien oor aan daarso, maar kom ons kyk wat hierso in hierdie volgende scrum gebeur.
And they do set. Bradley Davids feeds the scrum. He feeds Andre Esterhuizen. He's up to the halfway line just, but looks like he might be held up. The ball goes down to ground, and the Sharks somehow manage to recycle. Davids goes blindside, Fezambata. The ball's available. Davids to James Fenter, off his left foot, avoids the tackler, makes 4 or 5 meters. Davids with the box kick, just inside Lions territory, just outside the 22, and there could be trouble.
He's moeilikheid vir Keiter.
Edwin Keiter going right underneath Mafura there, who was attempting to take the ball. The referee just chatting to his assistant ref of whether it should be more than a penalty. It's such a tough one. You're going to take the ball, you slightly misjudge it, and often it ends up being a penalty.
Ja. Ja, kom ons hoop hierdie is net 'n penalty en niks meer nie. Jy wil nie 'n speler verloor in hierdie Currie Cup finaal nie. Maar Brendan die snaakse ding, die ou wat vir Andre Esterhuizen ophou, Nico Steyn, die skram af, die kleinste ouetjie op die veld, wat daar vir Andre Esterhuizen opgehou het vir 'n rukkie. So ja, dit wys jy net krag kom nie net 'n klein groot lywe nie, 'n klein pakkies lyk vir my is daar net soveel krag deesdae. So ja, well done vir Nico Steyn wat hy's in die moeilikheid hierso dink ek.
It doesn't look good. He thankfully didn't land on his head, so probably a yellow card, I would imagine at least.
Ja, ek dink Keiter is hier 'n bietjie die moeilikheid met 'n geel kaart as jy sien hy het in Mafura ingespring hierso. Ja, sy oog is op die bal, maar nog steeds jy mag nie die speler in die lig speel nie, ongelukkig. En jy sal eintlik dink die Sharks sal uitleer as hulle wat gebeur het laas naweek in die semifinaal na daai afskop.
The mitigation might be that he did jump for it, but just not high enough, instead of actually staying on the ground and running straight under him. So I would be surprised if he got a red card, but they are looking at it again and again.
Ja, ek sal nie rooi gaan nie. Hulle sal dalk na 'n geel kaart toe gaan en dan sal hulle dit opwys om te kyk of dit 'n rooi kaart kan wees. Maar soos ons vroeër eens gesê het, kom ons hoop dit is nie 'n rooi kaart nie, want jy wil nie 'n rooi kaart hê in die finaal met 'n speler minder nie. Maar soos eens gesê met die nuwe reël, na 20 minute kan jy terugkom. So kom ons kyk wat gebeur, maar hopelik is Keiter se wedstryd nie verby nie en hy kan sy geleentheid om sy Currie Cup finaal klaar te speel.
Kate has been called forward. The Sharks coach's box, praying silently that he doesn't get a card, and it is a yellow. So they'll breathe a sigh of relief there, just 10 minutes. A number of cards in that All Black Wallabies match this morning, which brought the Wallabies back into the match. And eventually, if you didn't know the score, New Zealand just managing to hold out 31-28.
Sure.
Yeah. Once again, the signals with the weather messing us around here.
Yeah, talking on that All Blacks Australia game this morning, Brendan. What do you think about Joe Smith? Is he the right guy for that environment there? I mean, if you look at all his success that he had at Ireland, now currently with the Oz.
Well, people tend to forget that he was the one that built Ireland up to what they were before Farrell took over.
Yes.
I mean, Farrell just polished a really good working machine.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone can, it probably will be him, and they just have to give him time.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, they certainly, I think their biggest issue is they are seriously short on tight forwards.
Yeah.
I mean, they're never going to match us. They're not going to match the Argentinians and the New Zealanders as well. And that's where it starts and ends.
Yeah.
So they need to produce more of those. And maybe the fact that Australia, particularly, are not playing South African Super Rugby, they're not getting hardened week after week, and they're just not producing those tight forwards they used to have. They weren't in the mold of the Bakkies Boertes and Eben Etzebeth, but they held their own.
Yeah.
They didn't dominate, but they did enough to give their exciting backline the ball.
Yeah, I think that's their weakness. I mean, they will always have backline players, but their weakness currently is, I think, their tight five. They don't have the most powerful or biggest oaks there, but like again, there's Morgan Odia, and I just said to you earlier, it's not the biggest frame, but yes, just look what he got, you know. Must be all the pop and sauce that you had as a youngster, so yeah.
Talking about pop, I was just going to say, we produce props like all those thousands of millie fields we have all over the Vrystaat and Noordwes. Okay, we're into it's 18 minutes down, still 0-0. Penalty to the Sharks. Lions going off their feet. Looks like it was Mafura. And Andre Esterhuizen will use his left boot to bang it downfield. I'd hate to be that ball right now.
Yeah,
and that's a very good kick.
I remember Andre when he was a youngster, when he still played for Harlequins. And the way he kicks the ball, he almost looked like that ball is going to burst. Soos dat hy die bal geskop het. So ja, ek sê baie goeie linkervoet.
Now, talking about Harlequins, I spent most of my childhood running around there on the bluff at Harlequins, with my dad being involved there. And of course, that's where Ronaldo started his rugby.
Yeah.
So we will certainly chat to Ronaldo at some point. He underwent an operation yesterday, so couldn't join us. But looking forward to chatting to him at some point on the final huddle. The Sharks up to the halfway line. Davids with another box kick. Ethan Hooker goes up and takes the ball. The ball comes out. Corne Roll playing scrum off to his locking partner. Quick recycling. Davids to Esterhuizen. He dummies and he goes himself. Almost a steal by the Lions. Davids goes left to Masuku. Flat ball. Beautiful from Julius to Vincent Chituka. Up to the 22. Davids, Octafield to James Fenter. Ball, Davids again. Masuku with the cross kick. Is he going to find Fez and Bata? He attempted it, but no, he didn't. It came off Nahamba's leg and looked like Cairns kicked it forward. The Lions' 8th man, and the ball goes out inside the Sharks' half, about 8 meters in. Yes, it was the 8th man, Jared Cairns, with the kick.
Baie tevrede met daai skop, jy kan daai smile op sy gesig sien. Bitter tevrede.
What do you think of the cross kick there? I mean, especially with Mbata on the wing.
Yeah, caught me by surprise there. I think even Hooker, if he was there, it's a better chance, but don't want to take it away from Mbata. Almost had it there with a little soccer scoop. So yeah, but what about that kick?
I think possibly Masuku forgot for a second that Kate is off the field, because that's where he should have been.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mbata with the throw in, taking a goal. Nordia messes with the jumper, but somehow the Sharks, no, and the ball's gone forward, it seems.
Ja, die eerste fout wat die Sharks gemaak het daar in die lynstaande na vandag. Heeltyd die lynstaande dink ek wat bitter goed was, maar daar was so baie goeie kompetisie van die loose kant af wat die bal vorentoe aangeslaan het en daar gaan die Leeu's weer kans kry om die bal in te sit by die skram.
You ask yourself why more teams don't compete in the lineouts, especially now that you're allowed to effectively throw it straight to your man if the other team's not competing. So now you force the hooker to throw it straight if you compete and you give yourself a chance.
Ja. Brendan, apparently there's a new rule coming in next year. If you don't compete, you can catch the ball on the outside shoulder. So I think that's going to bring competing more in as well. So I think we're bringing that thing. Currently, I mean, yeah, some guys, I must say the Sharks contesting is quite good, but yeah, the Lions did very well there on that contest.
21 minutes.
Ja, Ellis Park is vol vir die koue daar in Johannesburg. Die feit vol het uitgekom om Ellis Park te ondersteun daar so in Johannesburg.
So, just over 4 minutes left on Cater's yellow card. The Lions will want to strike now while they've got the man advantage.
Ja, iets is nie lekker daar in die skram nie. Dis die tweede keer wat die ref op sy vletjie is. So, daar word 'n bietjie gepraat daar in die oond.
Head, he obviously had a bit of a cut, so he's been repaired. Okay, second time of asking. They go down, looks like a solid scrum. It goes down and it's advantage to the Lions. Marius Lowe, back out the back door. Nahamba tries a ridiculous underarm pass. It somehow goes backwards, but no advantage. I think Nahamba knew they did have the advantage.
Ek hoop hy het geweet daarso want as dit nie gedoen het nie was hulle baie groot moeilikheid daar. Maar Brendan, vir my die Sharks wat bietjie onder druk is in die skram. Ek dink die Leeu's op hierdie oomblik in die oorhand daarso. Maar it's like vir my lekker op die engagement daar nie. So ek dink halftyd sal die voorspeler coaches 'n bietjie gesels daar om daai ding reg te kry want op hierdie oomblik sit hulle self onder druk.
Nahamba kicks the penalty out. Probably 15 meters from the try line.
Ja.
See, as someone who hasn't scrummed in the front row, I look at that and go, whose fault is that?
Ja.
Difficult to tell.
Ja, dit lyk vir my Andrew se voet het daar gegly en aan die ander kant om Tune lyk vir my het ook ingegaan want Fitch Mabata se kop op die grond gedref.
Versaghi to Landsberg. And the Lions just inside the 22 set up the maul and the ball has gone forward somewhere along the line.
Ja, gaan groet die manne bietjie mekaar en sê welkom by Ellis Park.
Yeah, and they're going on a bit, yeah?
Sure. Maybe it's they talk about the house things in KZN for the Joburg boys and Joburg boys want to know house things in KZN.
Most of these guys know each other very well. Just asking where they're having drinks tonight in Joburg. Chituka with some attention to his thigh or his knee.
Ja, daar was nou die eerste geleentheid vir die Leeu's in die 22. Ongelukkig het hulle die bal verloor en daar waar hulle die dryf opgesit het. En maar ja, dinge lyk nie so lekker daar met Chichuku nie. Lyk vir my hy knie het lekker seer. So die ref is ook besig om te gesels hierso met die manne.
The Sharks have played the Lions 5 times in Currie Cup finals. Off the top of your head, what's the
I think
for and against?
3-2, yeah, for the Sharks.
To the Lions.
To the Lions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-2. The Sharks won those 2 back in the day in 92 and 96.
Yeah.
And then the Lions won in between that as well, 93, and then of course 99. Remember the goodbye to Mac and Andre Hubert and Mark Andrews and those farewell games don't often turn out well.
The years of the Jannie Breeds.
Yeah.
Andre Watsons.
And then of course the Lions 2011 as well. That big win, 42 plus.
Yeah.
Remember when Butch James played for the Lions?
Yeah.
John Mitchell was the coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was when Aki's, the next year Aki's took the step up there. He became the coach after winning.
I mean, while they've got this break, does this Lions team remind you of that young Lions team from sort of pre-2010 where they were actually kicked out of Super Rugby and replaced, eventually got back, and for the next 4 or 5 years were the best team in the country?
Yeah, I mean, it was captain, Warren Whiteley was the captain of that team, very young, no names all in that team and just came through, won the Currie Cup. and compete in the final of the Super Rugby.
3 times in a row.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, like I said, a lot of youngsters here. Maybe it's the same time, but like I said, Zwaki and the coaches are doing a great job there, and keeping these youngsters intact.
Sure, this really is a long stoppage.
Yeah.
We're at 23 minutes 12 seconds. Looks like we might get going soon. They've also stopped Cater's yellow card clock. It's at 2 minutes 29.
Ja, hier gaan ons dan weer vir 'n skram. Kom ons kyk of Andrew hierdie keer beter kan doen, maar ek moet sê baie beïndruk met Morgan Nadia hierso wat vir Andrew baie harde klippe laat kyk.
Yeah, the Sharks were under major pressure against the Bulls last week in the scrum, and it seems to be continuing. Bradley Davids will want to get this in and out as quick as possible, and he does so. Esterhuizen takes it at fly half, runs up, takes about 3 or 4 players with him, and charges 20 meters. Now that is what it's all about. That's the Andre Esterhuizen we like. Up to the 10-meter line. The caterpillar is being formed for Davids, who kicks it into the afternoon air. Mafura with a good take. Steyn to Skuman. The Lions are on their own 10-meter line. Steyn lining up for the box kick, almost charged down, but he gets it away. Doesn't go very far. Taken beautifully by Mafura. Don't know what the Sharks players were doing there. Steyn to Nahamba. He steps, he goes through the gap. Beautiful from Nahamba. He's still going up to the 22. He flings it out, and that could be forward. But the ref plays it on. Jonker sticks it onto the boot. It goes over the line. And Manu Chituka just there in time.
Ja, Nahamba wat daar gewys het, dat ek vir voorheen gesê het, sy aanvallende spel, ongelooflik om daar deur te kom. Daai paas het vir my half vorentoe gelyk. Klein skoppie deur gesit en die Sharks wat dit gelukkig is om daai bal aan dood te druk en om die skop uit te kry van die doelgebied af.
Looks like the Sharks defense was a little out of alignment there, and he just saw that gap and almost ran at a 45-degree angle.
Ja, die opvangsdefense van die binnekant glad nie daar bestaan nie. Maar Brennan, 'n ander dingetjie wat ek vir jou vertel is, jy weet, maar vroeër vandag, as die Leeu's vandag die Currie Cup wen, dan het hy die Currie Cup gewen met 3 verskillende planne, by die Pumas, by die Vrystaat en vandag by die Leeu's.
Not many players that have done that.
No.
The Lions in possession. Venter. He ran into Emil van Heerden, and Emil van Heerden came off second best, and he's struggling to get to his feet.
Emil lyk nie goed daarso nie. Emil lyk glad nie goed nie.
Of course, Ruan Venter making his Bok debut this year. As we see, he goes in, and it looks like his upper arm onto Emil van Heerden's head. I can't see too much wrong with that in terms of penalties or anything.
No, not that I can take off about that, Brendan. The thing is, he went in for a tackle, he dropped his shoulder, he's protecting himself. Unfortunately, his elbow, sy elleboog wat daar so vir Emil op die kaakbeen getref het, maar ja, weer eens, kom ons hoop weer eens nie daar iets gebeur nie. Ons hoop Emil kan hierdie wedstryd klaarmaak.
Still being treated. He's going to get to his feet. He is contemplating whether to go off or not, and it looks like the doctor has said, nope, you're off. We've got to check an HIA, more than likely.
Ja, hy gaan 'n bietjie gaan vir die ding-dong toets, om te kyk of hy verder vorentoe gaan. Hy het nie baie goed gelyk daar nie, Brendan, toe hy daar opgestaan het, was hy 'n bietjie de mekaar gewees. So, maar kom ons hoop hy kom vinnig weer terug op die veld, as hy op die veld kan terugkom.
Well, let's see who replaces him, because the Sharks have 2 locks on the bench, including Jason Jenkins, who will be making his debut in a Currie Cup final.
Ja. Jenkins wat ook nou net onlangs teruggekom het van Ierland af, wat bietjie gesit het met 'n besering, maar ja, waar hy vandag in sy finaal speel. Daai was 'n groot loopie gewees. Daai was 'n groot, die bus was vol daar gewees op die oomblik.
Okay, looks like
12 seconds. 12 sekondes oor vir Keiter voor hy weer opkom. Nie opgekom.
For the confirm whether it's Jenkins or Grobler.
That's Grobler.
There it is. Okay, so Gervan Grobler has replaced Van Heerden possibly temporarily, but we'll see if he passes that HIA. So the scrum to the Lions, just outside the Sharks' 10-meter line, more or less in the middle of the field. A good attacking opportunity, the last play, and they give it up. They scrummed too early there, and the referee's given a short arm free kick to the Sharks.
Ja, die manne wat bietjie te hastig is daar om mekaar aan te vat. En as out of jail card hierso vir die Sharks. Hier kom hy groot bom alweer van Masuku af. Oh.
And somehow Grobler's into the action. He secures the ball comes back for the Sharks. Davids, Masuku with another bomb. Up to the Lions' 10-meter line. Nohamba, despite his stature, gets up, secures the ball, but it comes off a Lions player's boot, and the Sharks are in possession. Davids goes blindside, corner roll, runs back infield, makes about 10 meters. Davids digging for the ball. Chituka takes it up. Davids again. Masuku goes for the drop goal. Has he slotted it? And it doesn't seem like he has. Let's get a nice view of that. It came off the outside of the boot, and he missed by another set of poles.
Ja.
Difficult to miss by that far from that close.
Ja, miskien moet hy 'n bietjie vir Joel Strassie gevra het op die skepskop. Hy het daai 'n bietjie te ver gevat. Maar ja, albei spanne wat mekaar aanvat. Jy kom te Chuko op die aanval. Kyk wat hy met die bal draai so. Yes, ek moet sê ek is baie beïndruk met die Leeu se losspel. Oh.
Brilliant run by Julius. Oh, the ball goes forward. He's tackled by Robs Makwane. What a great run from Lorenzo Julius. Now Renzo Duplessis kicks the ball forward. Digging for it. Oh, gets it out. Chituka out on the left wing. He puts the ball to the boot. It's picked up by Nohamba expertly. Kicks it downfield. Tidied up. Hendrikse goes for the bomb.
Kyk, is terug op die veld. Oh,
Niku Steyn knocks the ball on.
goeie aanvalsgeleentheid hier vir die Sharks. Hou die bal lewendig, Haas Kuiter terug, wat nou net terug op die veld is. Wat 'n hier gaan die Sharks.
Very good handling by the Sharks. They're up to 7 meters out, and again, the Lions are on their feet and attempting to steal the ball.
En wie anders as Nico Steyn? Yes, like it.
That was a great movement from the Sharks. Hendrikse going on the outside, popping it back inside. Somehow Julius ended up with the ball. Twinkle toes down the right-hand touchline. Got the ball back inside. Tackled about 7 meters short. And there was Niku Steyn on his feet. Sometimes it's more beneficial not to steal the ball there and rather get the penalty.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Do you ever coach your players to fake that they're trying to steal the ball?
No.
Come on, be honest. Oh, okay. Because a penalty on your own line, like I said, you'd rather have that than actually stealing the ball because now you need to do something with it.
Yes, hy is ongelooflik sterk in daai. Kyk, maar dis wat ek vir sê, die lyk vir my die hele span 1 van 15 kan vir die bal gaan en die losgemale en dit doen ongelooflike goeie werk as hy ver.
Nahamba kicked it up just on his side of the 10-meter line. 3 missed tackles so far from the Sharks and 8 from the Lions.
Ja. Dis 'n kort man lyn staan.
Versaghi to Skuman, down to Steyn. Nahamba, short ball to Nklabakanye.
Ja.
Isn't over the advantage line yet. Steyn back to Nahamba, takes it safely. He feeds Kuenhorn on the outside, who puts it to the boot. This could work out for the Lions. Tidied up by Hendrikse. Tight angle. Kicks it infield. Kicks it out.
Ja,
Great kick.
Wat 'n groot skop daar van Nahamba. Is teruggeskop met rente van Nahamba af.
We're into the 33rd minute, still 0-0.
Sure.
I'm wondering if, or when the last time might have been that a Currie Cup final went to 0-0 at halftime, if it's ever happened.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mufasa is riding the shark on the side of the field. Fezembata, just inside the 10-meter line. Grobler takes it nicely. Davids to James Fenter up to the 10-meter line in their own half. Davids with the box kick again. Taken by Mafura. He's taken down to ground by Keita, who's on his feet, but no, the ball comes back for the Lions. Jared Cairns takes it forward. The long kick downfield from Niku Steyn. His opposite number takes it, feeds Hendrikse on the inside.
Oh, hy's 'n moeilike.
And he's caught, he's in trouble. The Lions are over the ball. And it might have come back their side, or not. Somehow, the Sharks have survived that.
Ja. Ja,
David
die Sharks is
feeds
bitter gelukkig daar.
corner roll.
Bitter gelukkig.
Back to,
Weer eens die up and under. Die wel as 'n up and under. Hier is 'n bietjie ver.
oh! Somehow Nahamba slips.
Esterhuizen.
Esterhuizen's onto the ball. Beautiful following up from the Springbok inside centre. Julius cuts inside. He breaks through. He's over the 22. He plays Grobler. Beautiful play from the Sharks. He tries to pick it up at the base and he knocks the ball on. How often do you see that?
Yes, like it. Ja, yes, ek dink bietjie over eagerness daarso van die Sharks af. Jy's op die voorfield, hou die bal, sit die manne op, speel die fases. Ja, bietjie over eager.
Masuku's high ball was missed by Nahamba. I think he slipped as he was trying to take it, but Esterhuizen was onto it. He went forward, and Julius, running brilliantly back into the traffic, gave it to Grobler. The ball went down to ground, and unfortunately, you just have to get one stray leg in the way,
Ja.
and the ball's probably not going to be picked up correctly. Bit of a
Ja, goeie
stoppage in play.
Goeie counterraak wat daai veroorsaak het. Soos ek sê, die Leeu's se sterkpunt vandag. Hulle is baie goed met die counterracks en met hande by die raak. So ja, maar dis exciting times wat hier gebeur is. Soos jy sê, 35 minute 0-0 gaan dit halftyd 0-0 wees, maar goeie interplay weer daarso van die Sharks se kant af.
We stopped the clock at 34 minutes 53 at the moment. James Fenter being looked at. A number of stoppages. Game halftime probably would have come by now if we didn't have as many stoppages as we did. Despite the cold, the Joburg faithful having a good time in the stands. Yeah, James Fenter, he's on his feet. Looks like he got some strapping on the left knee, but he's hobbling to the scrum. It'll take more than that to get him off the field.
Ja. Maar het lijkt of het op die oomblik reën also in Johannesburg, as ek dit so na kyk, ek sien doodseker nie. En ek dink dit maak die kondisies en ek dink dis hoekom die Sharks ook bietjie daai bomme gooi. Daai groot up en anders op die oomblik, want ek dink hulle gebruik dit bietjie na hulle wense toe en wat vir hulle werk op die oomblik, maar ja.
Okay, they're about to go down in the scrum. 5 handling errors from the Sharks so far and 4 from the Lions. Steyn quickly feeds it. The scrum goes down, but it's play on, and Kewen Horn kicks to the other side of the field, and it's out on the halfway line.
Ja, daai scrum ook, soos ek sê, ek dink met die gereën of met die natte klammigheid wat daar is, Brendan, dit maak dit moeilik. Dit maak dit moeilik, dis 'n bietjie gegleiery wat op die voete gaan en al daai tipe dinge. Maar ja, die ref wat die voordeel al speel, die bal is klaar uit en nie die hele tyd net stop start nie. So ek dink hy doen 'n goeie werk met daai geleentheid vir die en met daai skop van Kewen wat die game weer terugbring na die halfgebied toe. Goeie contest.
Chituka takes the ball, but it's scrappy at the back for the Sharks. Masuku goes up over the halfway line, down to ground, bounces up again. Great run from the fly half. Davids pops it over the top. It's running down towards the try line, and it's going to go over the try line.
It's too far.
Rubs Makwane dots it down, so it will be a touchline dropout. Or should I say a try line dropout?
Ja. Ja, dat is ook een van die reels wat nou onlangs gechange het. Waar jy altyd na die 22 toe gegaan het en nou skop jy van die doellyn af.
In a situation like this, I don't have too much of a problem with it. What I don't really like is when the ball is held up over the line and you don't get the scrum.
Ja. Ja, daai wat altyd daar was, want jy het hard gewerk daarvoor en nou jy dalk opgehou, nou ewe skielik word dit weggevat van jou af. Maar nou ja, soos ek sê, elke jaar is daar ietsie nuuts, 'n nuwe reël. Hy's goed.
Chituka takes the dropout from Kewen Horn. He runs up to the 10-meter line. Mbata, ball comes out for Davids. They're going blindside. Masuku to Hendrickse. Esterhazen down the left-hand touchline. He goes down to ground. Davids back inside. Chituka takes it up a few meters. You can just say Chituka and you'll be right with 2 plays. And then his brother also takes it. Looks like the ball's gone forward. It's stolen by Renzo du Plessis. He's a demon on the ground.
Ja.
Reinhard Jonker puts the ball to boot.
Ja.
And it bounces in field. It bounces wrong. Hendrickse, almost wrong-footed, somehow recovers. Looked like it might have gone forward, but the ref says play on. Davids. Oh, ball goes back. The Sharks' handling could be affected by the conditions at the moment. Not great. Davids with another box kick. Doesn't go very far. It's still inside their own half. Taken beautifully by Kewen Horn, who scored on his Springbok debut. And Klabakanye caught behind the advantage line. Niku Steyn goes blindside. Niku Steyn again, and Klabakanye. Quick recycling to Nohamba Jonker. Fasaki finds himself in the centres. And he could be turned over. No, it comes back on the line side. Landsberg.
Ja, Landsberg wat ook voorheen vir die Pumas gespeel het. Selfde as Morgan Odea. Kans gekry het nou by die Leeu's en met al twee hande gegryp het.
Nohamba, almost a cross kick up and under. Somehow the Sharks secure it. Davids to Corneral.
Yes,
he takes it up over the halfway line, almost up to the 10-meter line. He handed off a few there. Davids to James Fenter. He bounces off one. Good momentum from the Sharks now. Masuku puts it to the boot, but Niku Steyn cleans up, and he finds Kewan Horn, who decides to run, and he's tackled by Manu Chituka. Steyn again, waiting. Skuman takes it up a few meters.
20 secondes oor in hierdie half en hierdie halfte. Brendan het verby gevlieg.
Niku Steyn with another box kick. Almost up to the halfway line. Henrikse comes forward. He doesn't get to the ball, but it somehow finds Julius. Davids with another kick over the top into the corner. Could this be a crack of a kick? No, it bounces the opposite way and goes over the dead ball line. We'll go back for the scrum.
Ja, hierdie moet die laaste beweging wees van hierdie eerste helfte. Ek dink al gaan hard gepraat word in die kleedkamers met al twee spanne. Ek dink met die Sharks wat verseker moet gaan gesels word oor die scrum en oor die afbreekpunte. En die Leeu's dink ek net hulle geleenthede meer gebruik. Ek kry nie hulle het nie baie goeie kans gehad om te attack nie. Maar ja, dis een of twee punte wat sal bespreek word in hierdie halftyd deur die coaches.
The Sharks with a massive advantage in territory and possession, so the Lions will want to keep their ball. Niku Steyn just kicks the ball out, and that is half-time. And can you believe it? Not a single score in the first half.
Ja, dis nogal 'n interessante staat wees om te kyk of daar enigiets so gebeur het al in die vorige Currie Cup bekers waar jy halftyd 0-0 ingaan. Ek dink nie daar is so iets nie. Ek kan praat oor 'n korreksie, maar ja, ek moet baie ver terug wil kyk om te weet of daar 0-0 is.
Who would be happier at the moment? I mean, the Sharks have had a lot of ball possession and territory and haven't utilized it. I don't know. I mean, do you think the Lions might be slightly happy that they've held them off and haven't allowed the Sharks to score?
Ja, soos ek voorheen gesê het, the Lions didn't get enough opportunities yet, and they will be quite happy because the Sharks attacked a few times in their 22 and coming in halftime with 0-0. And on the other hand, the Sharks could have easily be 6-0 up. And when you said in the finals, take the points.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're just waiting for our stats to update, and we'll bring you the latest from that first half. The Lions definitely having the advantage in the scrums. I suppose the lineouts, the Sharks just have had more ball, so they've had more opportunity. It's gone a bit both ways. But if you look at, and I mentioned territory possession, 72% to the Sharks and 65 possession. I mean, it's very rare to see such a huge skew to one team.
Yeah, that's unbelievable if you look at that stats there. But again, the kicking game of the Sharks is quite on point. I think Davids with his box kicks is every time is a contestable kick. The Lions didn't have ball in hand yet, if you think about it. Brendan had a few chances in their own 22, and that was it. I think they had one chance with that line out, attacking line out when they knock on the ball. But the chance with the Sharks not using their chances, 72%, 65% ball position. It's crazy stats that you see it, and you still don't have any points on the board. So I think there will be some good hard words in that change room half time.
With that strong Kiwi accent, of course. Unsurprisingly, 55 ball carries for the Sharks to the 22 of the Lions, and only 30 tackles made from the Sharks and 71 from the Lions. So obviously you're going to have that if you've got that much ball. Any players that have stood out, or nobody's really taken their opportunity at this point?
No, I think there was glimpses of stuff. I think Niku Steyn, especially for me, is one of the guys who caught eye, and then Morgan Nadir in the scrums. But nothing else. No one. I think the conditions is also not playing his part so much. But yeah, let's see this next 40. I think there's going to be a cracker. I think points will be taken now because I think there are two opportunities now that didn't come off. So yeah, this next 40 is going to be quite interesting.
Okay. Well, while we are waiting for them to come back to the field, let's have a quick chat about tonight's Bok game.
Yeah.
10 changes that Rassie made, and isn't it amazing, if you look back 10, 15, 20 years, I mean, if 10 changes were made, you would have come off a big loss and players would have been kicked out of the squad. But now, everyone seems to understand their role.
Yeah.
They know where they fit in the whole ecosystem of the Springboks. There's obviously good communication between the coaches and the players, saying, we're only going to win the World Cup if we have a strong squad, which is exactly what happened last year. Who do you want to see step up to the next level tonight?
So firstly, let's come to the changes. I mean, I went through a list in the week from Rassi. I think we got in each position, we got currently 6 players that can start for the Sharks. For the Boks. Where do you see that ever happen? We spoke earlier about it, the Mornay Steyn area. We had one fly off, and that was Mornay. And then Andre came out and all that kind of stuff. It's a pity about Grant Williams that got injured. But then, of course, I think he's very, very talented. He's a very exciting rugby player. But yeah, I think it's going to be a hostile environment tonight. The RGs that come from that game from Australia, we know it is. Are they playing in Mendoza tonight? I'm not 100% sure.
Santiago.
Santiago.
First time we've played there.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a very interesting game. So as much as I know we need 1 point, and everybody thinks we won it yet, I think we need to be switched on.
Yeah, look, I think for Argentina, I think they understand the mountain they have to climb to have any hope of winning the rugby championship. And I'm sure they are being realistic about the fact that they've got to win the game. They have to win by more than 3 tries to get the bonus point. And they can't let the Sharks come within 7. The Boks come within 7, because then we would get the bonus points. So, and they'd have to do that 2 weeks in a row. I think for them, any kind of win will be a huge boost for them, whether the Springboks end up lifting the trophy or not. For them to have beaten the All Blacks, to have beaten Australia the way that they did, a record, and to then beat the Boks, either of these 2 weeks, but more than likely at home. Man, I'm constantly amazed at how they're able to do what they do without a professional competition in their own country, all their players playing all over the world. You've got to give it to them. I mean, it really is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, like you said, most of their players are playing in England or they're playing in France. And it's a pity they don't have like a social carry cup like we got. I know a couple of years ago they had the Pampas playing in a Vodacom Cup, where also they came through nicely. But yeah, for me, they are incredible. I mean, but as well, they got experience currently. They got a very experienced team there, and the coach there, Contepomi, that's been around. He knows what he's doing, and I think the guys are feeding off each other there. And the passion there, we will see tonight. They will be crying and when they sing the anthem and stuff like that. And I think the lekker thing about it as well, on the lighter side, is they also like meat. And I like to braai like I said.
I was just going to say, they're calling this the Battle of the Braai. I know they don't call it that. But you're going to be hard-pressed to find 2 nations that like a big T-bone steak more than South Africans and Argentines.
No, exactly that. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game tonight. So yeah.
Talking about the Pampas, I remember watching the final of the Vodacom Cup live at Olin Park in Potch. I think that was their home base. And they topped the log and then won the game very well. I can't actually remember who they played. And that would have been in 2011. I'm sure it was 2011. But it just shows, you know, there's always been a very close relationship between South African and Argentine rugby. From what I understand, South Africans went over there many decades ago and introduced rugby to them. So there's always been this close bond.
In that Papa's team that you spoke about, Kiwi, the captain, the one who retired, actually came out of retirement to play the All Blacks when they won the All Blacks.
Yes.
Kiwi, he was the captain of that Papa's team. Yeah.
No, listen, they've always kind of been my second team. I just love their passion and the fact that they somehow manage to win games and where they're not fancied, the issues that they have to deal with. But the likes of Fiji, Samoa, Japan, Georgia, when are they going to be given the opportunity of playing more big-time rugby? And you know what? You don't need to immediately put someone into the Six Nations or into the Rugby Championship. Just have a second division. The winner of that challenges the bottom team. So Wales, came last in the money that's exchanged hands with the different unions. They're shareholders in different competitions, and it's a hard sell to get them to want to be part of that.
As like you said, you know, like anyone in the Six Nations going for years and years and years. Now to suddenly take, say, Italy out and you bring in, say, like a Georgia and stuff like that, it's going to have the same ethos. Yeah, I think it won't change too much, but, you know, it's set in stone. It's the history around that. But why don't make a championship, but make it like a junior championship where you bring the Fijis in and the Samoas in and the Georgians and the Portugal, that kind of teams, and give them that exposure.
No, absolutely. And I think there was talk of increasing the rugby championship to 5 teams and bringing Fiji in.
Yeah.
And then I think you can have another 5. Tonga, Samoa, Japan, Namibia, a couple of the South American teams. I mean, Chile were good at the World Cup. Have those 5.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that challenges whoever comes last in the rugby championship.
Promoting relegation, like you said earlier.
Exactly. That's, of course, if the rugby championship is not going to go by the wayside soon. Because, I mean, if in 2026 the All Blacks come here for a 3-test series, plus all the other matches they're going to play, they've already said that there won't be a rugby championship that year. Now they say they're going to do it again in 28 and 30. I mean, the rugby championship starts becoming irrelevant if the Boks and All Blacks are just doing our own thing.
But I mean, that's also another excitement because now you're going to have week games, where it was the old traditional tours. You know, when England came here, you play against the clubs, you play against the smaller provincial provinces and all that kind of stuff. So that's also a lack of thing. But as well, you want strength against strength, and not just say they will be bad when they're coming. But if you look at the New Zealand Maoris, they can push their hand. They've got very good players. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what's coming up. But now I want to ask you something else about this whole story about the URC, with England and Ireland wants to kick South Africa out again because we're winning all the time.
Well, I think in 3 years we've hosted all 3 finals.
Yeah.
We should probably have had 3 wins, but we only had 1.
Yeah.
I think the URC knows where their bread is buttered. With South Africa, it raises the level of the competition, but it also brings in the money from our big rugby watching population.
Yeah.
So I mean, I saw a statement saying that there's absolutely no negotiations going on, and everything is staying it as it is, and they're more than happy with where things are going. So, but you know, sometimes you see statements and then a month later things change.
Yeah.
But I think the English Premiership understand that they're failing a bit. 3 teams have literally closed their doors.
Yeah.
That's not great for them.
No.
So I think they're looking for other opportunities and making waves that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. In one way, I mean, I've enjoyed the URC for the most part, but you know, where does the Currie Cup again fit into that? Because now it's not just the URC. You've also got the Challenge and Champions Cup.
Yeah.
So now that's the top level. Then you got URC. Then you got Currie Cup. So look, we're watching a great final, and everyone in South Africa is enjoying it.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, we need to just admit, okay, it's a feeder competition.
Yeah.
It is where you will find URC players and where future Boks can come from down the line. But I still want and that's perfectly acceptable for the Stormers, the Lions, the Sharks, and the Bulls, because this is a great competition for them.
Yeah.
It exposes their youngsters, and they can come through in the URC. For all the other teams, where to from there?
Yeah.
You know,
There's nothing more.
I mean, I would at least like to see the fact that I don't know what the process is of the Cheetahs putting their names forward for the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
And last year they were Currie Cup champions. And then in that case, fair enough. You've won the Currie Cup, you deserve to be our other entrance into the Challenge Cup. But if someone else wins it, or the Pumas end up ahead of them, or win it like they did a couple of years ago, they should be they should have that opportunity. At least that's something. Okay. In a few minutes' time, the second half will get underway.
Yeah, definitely raining there now. So ons kan inwees vir 'n paar groot skoppe weer hierso, Brendan. Ek dink hulle gaan bietjie daai Gary Owens in die lig kry. Want as jy kan sien nou dit lyk of dit verseker lekker reën. Daar's Roan Dreyer ook nou op die veld. Hy het vir ek dink seker vir It's like om te weet wie hy vervang.
Yeah, spent most of his career at the Lions, of course. There's another player.
Ja, ja.
Let's join the Sharks. So Kewen Horn kicks off in the second half. Great take from Gerban Grobler. Looks like Emil van Heerden probably didn't pass his HIA, unfortunately for him. Steyn feeds in Klabakanye.
Dylan Richardson is ook op die veld. Lyk of hy vir Faison Botha vervang het.
Interesting. Looks like they're wanting someone who's better on the ground,
Ja,
which Dylan certainly is. Keita takes 2 or 3 players with him. Nice run. Certainly stronger than he looks.
ja. Nee, ek dink 'n man af van die Kalahari af. Laat Kalahari duik hulle ons springbokke bring en so hierdie man ek dink hy's hard. Hierdie is 'n baie goeie skop. Goed gedoen.
The Sharks went down the back line, and then the kick inside the Lions 22. Well taken by Kewen Horn, who kicks into touch safely.
Ja, ook 'n opkomende speler wat nou hierdie jaar se Springbok debuut gemaak het. Al die pad daar van die Kaap af. Baie goeie speler met 'n baie goeie rugby brein in hom. Ook goeie future vorentoe vir hom en veral vir die Bokke.
So Richardson definitely replacing Faison Botha with his first line-out throw. He finds Gerban Grobler.
Nice kick.
And, interesting, it was half a jump from the Lions. I wouldn't call it a full jump, but because it was skew,
Ja,
the referee has called it.
exactly. We just spoke about it earlier.
And that's a perfect example where Landsberg was never going to get to it regardless. But he made an attempt, and not a great first line-out throw there from Richardson. I mean, Grobler had to reach way out to his left to take that one.
Ja, Rikram. Morgan O'Dear.
And like you say, he's certainly not big like your general Lucid prop would have been back in the day.
No. Ja, Engelse woord, dynamite comes in small packages. Hy doen bitter baie goed hierso. Ek dink die Sharks het hierso baie juweel gekry. Maar die gaan Roan Dreyer wat harde bene daar kou op die oomblik. Jy kan sien hoe kyk sy arm is baie hoog daarso. Hy werk nie. Ja. Nog die wat die strafskop kry vir die Lions.
Nohamba with the penalty kick. Probably about 10 meters outside the 22-meter line. Not easy conditions for the hookers. Visagie. And it's stolen from Raal. He slams the ball down. Davids cleans up. Chituka to Fenta to Masuku, who kicks it downfield. He doesn't find touch. Kewen Horn takes it over the 50-meter line, going back and forth, not quite knowing where he was going. So easy tackle for the Sharks. It's ball over the top from Jonker. He finds Mafura on the outside. He kicks it forward.
Yes,
Is it going to be cleaned up? Yes, Masuku is there to dot the ball down.
Ja, ook maar net daar die bal neergesit in die doelgebied. Baie goeie skop hier daar van Mafura. Soos ek gesê het voorheen, Currie beker gewen saam met die Pumas, Currie beker gewen laas jaar saam met die Cheetahs en nou speel hy net sy derde Currie Cup finaal hierso vir die Lions.
I'm sure there's a small list of players that have won Currie Cups for 3 provinces. I'd imagine there might be a couple. If you know, let us know, please.
Ja, ek glo nie daar's baie nie.
Oh, it looks like a drop goal attempt from Steyn, and it doesn't even reach the try line. Henrikse takes it easily,
Ja.
kicks it downfield.
Not out.
Either way, Nohamba passes it back in field to Ruan Venter. He finds Jared Cairns. Cairns plays Mafura on the outside. He cuts back inside. He's all on his own, unfortunately. He gets tackled 10 meters short of the line. What a run from Mafura. Great work from Cairns as well.
James Venter.
And it's been stolen by James Venter. We spoke about the matchup between Duplessis and Venter. And Venter, probably with the Sharks' first steal of the game.
Is Richardson, skies tog. Is Richardson, Brendan.
And it was Richardson there. And that's probably exactly what they're wanting from him, having another Baljagter op die veld.
Ja, verseker. Baie goed gedoen daarso. Deur Richardson om haar terug te kom en daai bal te steel, maar eers die wedstryd wat weer bietjie vlam vat. Die manne speel bietjie, harke bietjie met die bal. Maar ja, baie goeie werk daar deur Dylan Richardson om daai bal af te vat daarso met die Lions.
Esterhuizen uses left boot. He doesn't kick the ball out. Nahamba
Ja, kom die groot man weer.
to Ruan Venter. Is he going to knock another person out? Steyn. Short ball to Landsberg. Cuts back inside. He gets the ball away to Steyn again. Jonker. Show and go. Well tackled.
Goeie tackle deur Richardson.
Ball's available. Steyn goes blindside.
Ja. Ja, hier is 'n paar kollissies hier
Steyn
wat wild is.
inside this time to Nordia. Caught behind the advantage line. Steyn and the ball goes forward.
Brendan, jy wat jy kan beloof, jy gaan 'n paar seer lywe wees môre na hierdie Currie Cup finaal. Hier's 'n paar groot tackles en 'n paar groot stampe. Die bus is vol met 'n paar keer wat ek nou al gesien het. Ja, die
Ruben
Sharks is bitter
Skuman
gelukkig.
dropping that cold on his own 50-meter line.
Ek dink die Sharks is baie gelukkig geweest daarso. Dit is my gelyke verhaal bietjie of aan die verkeerde kant was daarso. Gelukkig het die ref dit nie gesien nie en nou kry hulle 'n skram. Richardson is down, James.
Another injury. Grobler this time, who was a replacement for Van Heerden, who we think probably will not return to the match. And it looks like he's getting his thumb strapped. Don't know how he'll move it after that. Yeah, you're right. Certainly more exciting in this second half. We've had 7 minutes so far. 47:07. The clock stopped. And it's looking more and more likely that there's going to be one moment of brilliance that could win the Currie Cup for a team here.
Ja. Well, it's almost 50 minutes, amper 50 minute in hierdie wedstryd nog steeds 0-0.
Could we have another extra time like we did last week?
Ja, nou as die hele familie is reg. Niks staan terug vir die Cowboys nie. Hulle is daar om hulle span te ondersteun.
Okay. Can the Sharks have a better scrum this time? I mean, the fact that Nordia is doing what he is doing to Dreyer, who's as experienced as he is, that shows you something.
Nou, definitely, hierdie Morgan Nordia het ietsie spesiaals in hom. Hy wil skram, jy kan sommer sien, hy kop is af, hy's reg om te gaan, niks gaan hom keer nie. En soos jy sê, Roan Dreyer wat nou aan die blok was, hy is nie sy eerste Currie Cup hierdie nie. Is dit weer. Manne krou klippe daar aan die linkerkant, Brendan. Hierdie Nordia mannetjies het bitter baie druk op hierdie Sharks se skram.
Ball went, shall I say, the scrum, going down to ground there. Reset on the halfway line. David's having a chat to Masuku. He's standing on the blind side. It'll be interesting to see what move they're going to pull here. Esterhuizen. Nice to see him back at the Sharks for his second stint.
Esterhuizen weer op 10. Hardloop weer op die 10 kanaal.
Do they run it straight down the middle with Esterhuizen, or do they pull a fast one down the blind side with Masuku? Oh, the Sharks going forward.
Daar's 'n beter skram deur die Sharks. Chino wat bitter hard gewerk het daar. Oh,
The ball goes down to ground. No, it's a penalty. Sorry, I got too involved there and didn't tell you what was happening. Esterhuizen fed Julius, who tried to get the ball away to Hendrickse, and I think the ball went forward from the fullback's hand, but it looks like this time Nordia's conceded the penalty.
ja, Chino wat bitter goed gedoen het daarso. As jy weer die kyk weer sal wys. Toe hy die vaskop ingaan het om Chino net aangegaan. Dit is net soos 'n bulldozer wat net vorentoe gaan. Niks gaan jou stop nie. So baie mooi, is amper soos 'n golf.
And what did we say? You're going to take points in the second half.
Ja.
So Masuku has pointed to the posts, and he is half a meter inside his own half. So this is going to be a big kick.
Ja. Morgan wat daarso sy voet verloor het daarso, Dreyer wat die opper aan haar gehad het met Machune wat mooi deurgekom het. Ja, en hier gaan ons vir die eerste 3 punte van die wedstryd.
Could the first points be scored in the 50th minute
Sure.
of this Carling Black Label Curry Cup final being played in Joburg. It's looking good. It's got the distance.
Oh, right.
And it's just to the right of the right-hand upright. He certainly had the distance.
Yeah.
So still no score. And we tick over into the 51st. Might be asking why they didn't take a few easier ones in the first half.
Ja, verseker dat ek verstaan soos ek sê. Ek dink hy langer skoppe moet hulle meer dalk vir Jayden Hendricks gee wat ook gewoond is aan om te speel in Ellis Park wat die park goed ken. So ek sal as ek die ou was sal ek gesê het hy moet daai lang skoppe vat.
Chituka takes it up. Looks like Bradley Davids lining up for another box kick, and he does so. Nahamba again, despite his size, very good under the high ball. The Lions secure it. Steyn feeds Renzo Duplessis. He bursts through a few tackles up to the 10-meter line. Steyn to the boot again. Way up into the sky. A very good take from the Sharks. Chituka plays scrum off to Dylan Richardson. Bradley Davids to Masuku. They're going to run the ball. Esterhazen to Julius. Oh, Esterhazen's on the outside, in fact. Esterhazen passes it to Ethan Hooker. He's down the left. He sidesteps. He's going to go to the corner. Ethan Hooker scores the first points of the match. The left winger, who normally plays centre, breaks the deadlock in the 52nd minute.
Ja, baie mooi hande daar so. Lekker aanval daar van die Sharks diep in hulle eie gebied met Ethan Hooker. So jy gesê het voorheen 'n senter gewees wat nou op vleuel speel vir die Sharks. Bitter baie mooi. Mooi getrek daar so deur die ander Esterhuis en op die laaste minuut gepaas. Namba op die defensie so wat sy voete verloor en daar is ons in die hoekie vir die eerste 5 punte van die wedstryd.
Looks like it was Hendricks who fed Julius to Esterhazen, and it's almost a weapon for Andre to be able to pass.
Ja.
Because most people think he's not going to pass,
Yeah.
that he's going to take the tackle, and when he gets it away, he can make space for the guys on the outside.
Ja, hy is 100% reg daar so, Brendan, 100% reg daar. Bitter goed gedoen daar so deur Andre Esterhuis en op die laaste minuut weggekry vir Ethan Hooker wat weer eerste 5 punte oor van die
Masuku,
finaal.
can he add the 2? What a kick from Sia Masuku from the left-hand touchline, straight over the red bar.
Ja, daar sou dit nou begin vlam vat. Nou soos in die Currie Cup van 2024. Sharks eerste bloed getrek. Dit gaan harde werk vat hierso van die Lions om terug te kom, maar soos ek sê, hierdie tweede helfte baie meer opwindend. Albei spanne wat lekker speel. Die bal word lig gegee. So ja.
A great swerve inside and outside from Hooker to beat the first man.
Ja, dit baie goed gedoen daarso van na Hamba gevang op sy agtervoet waar hy gegly het en daarso 7 punte op vir die Sharks.
Well, I know it was necessity that brought about Hooker going to the left wing, but it's an option these days.
Yeah.
He's played well in these 2 matches.
Ja, ek dink ook as jy vorentoe gaan dink, as jy nog dink met Am en Esterhuizen en Kriel en die Linde wat nog miskien in die volgende World Cup gaan speel, is dit 'n goeie kans vir hom om dalk om op die vleuel sy hand op te steek. Hy's groot, hy's sterk en hy's vinnig.
Bradley Davids with the box kick downfield from his own 22, and it has gone out. It looks like they took it over their own 22, so that's directly out technically. And there we go again. Ethan Hooker going over for the try and the first points of the match coming in the 52nd minute.
Sure.
Unbelievable. So the Lions with an opportunity to strike back after that ball went directly into touch. They've got the line out just outside the 22.
5-man lyn staan wat hier gaan plaasvind. Gaan die Sharks hier so hard kompeteer? Nee. Geef hulle die voorbeeld.
Skuman goes up, gives it to Renzo Duplessis. The ball gets recycled. Steyn to Ruan Venter, but very good defense from the Sharks. Gives it to Landberg.
Oh.
The ball gets kicked through by one of the Lions players. Chituka finds Esterhazen. Inside the Sharks 22.
Ja, die Sharks het 'n bietjie onder druk was daarso. Met die Leeu's wat aangaan. Weer eens die Leeu's doen ongelooflik goed by die losgemale Brendan.
Just a quick break in transmission on our side. As soon as our picture returns, we will bring you back to the commentary. We've possibly got another option. Yeah, the Lions, they're going to need to do all the running now, being 7 points behind. It'll be interesting to see how each team...
Ja, hulle gaan met
manages things.
Vinnig gedap, maar daar is 7 punte agter in die finaal. Soos jy sê, daar is 20 minute oor in hierdie wedstryd, hierdie 2024 Currie Cup finaal.
So Richardson is on the field at the moment. He had that great steal. Grobler came on in the first half for Emile van Heerden. It'll be interesting to see when Jason Jenkins makes his debut for the Sharks. And interesting that they went for a 6-2 split, the Sharks.
Ja. Ja, so
Of course, the Lions as well.
Ja. Ja, soos 'n Lionel Cronje, is 'n ou hand. Goed om hom te sien om in hierdie finaal te speel. Tiaan Meyer wat al vir die Leeu's gespeel het en die Sharks wat die Currie Cup gewen het saam met die Vrystaat wat terug is in Suid-Afrika. As ek so kyk, yes, jou Pretorius, Blitzbok, wat kan opkom. So ja, daar's 'n paar exciting spelers wat nog gaan opkom. Trevor Nkani, wat daai pragtige 3 gedruk het laas naweek in die semifinaal met 'n show and go.
Pretorius is very good for the Lions in the URC.
Ja.
And the only reason he's not starting is because Renzo's been so good and is the top try scorer in the competition.
Ja.
So great to have both those options, especially leading into a season where you're playing multiple competitions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both sides got a very, very good bench coming on, and they can come on very good impact. So yeah, that can maybe be the game changer, and maybe that's for the Lions' time now to bring some of that guys up to can change it like Pretorius, who can be interlinked between backs and forwards.
Yeah, Lionel Cronje is an interesting one. Man, he's made his way around to
Yeah.
multiple. I mean, I probably wouldn't be wrong if I said he's played for 10 different teams over the years. But he's just so solid and dependable.
Ja, ek dink Lionel het meer getravel as ek. En ek het getravel.
You did some travel.
Ek het getravel. So ek dink Lionel het baie meer as ek getrek. En soos ek sê, daar speel hy in 'n finaal. Ek dink hy maak die jaar klaar, Brendan. En dan gaan hy hom aansluit by die afrigting van die Sharks.
Okay.
So het ek gehoor. So ja, wat 'n wonderlike loopbaan het hy gehad.
Yeah, you know, there's a number of players currently playing good rugby that came out the sevens scene, that great sevens team that we had, and most of those guys have moved into the 15s game. And you can see that they have something special when it comes to creating space and doing interesting, exciting things on the field. Even a Kwagga Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be playing flanker, but he's got such a turn of speed.
Oh.
He's at every single breakdown. And if ever there was someone who can make an impact off the bench, that's the guy.
Nee, 100%. Ek dink jy is Kwagga. Ek dink Rassie het al gesê, as hy nie 'n vleuel het nie en as iemand wat met seer kry, is Kwagga die volgende ou wat na vleuel toe kan gaan. So ja, dit wys jy net wat se tipe speler is hy. Maar met JC Pretorius ook hierso dieselfde. Hy's dieselfde mold as Kwagga. Kwagga wat nou sy kans kry by die Bokke en Jesus, wat 'n impak het Kwagga nie. Ongelooflike speler met ongelooflike talent en ongelooflike goeie mens.
Yeah, I remember attending the sevens in Cape Town. I think the first year that it was held there, and we won that year. So it was a great year to attend, and he was playing for that team.
Yeah.
And we just happened to sit next to a whole group of supporters wearing I want to say zebra outfits.
Yeah.
And it was Kwagga's family.
Yeah, okay,
and we had a fat chat with them and explained where the Kwagga comes from. And every time he got the ball, whoop, 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 whoop. And I said, what's this? No, that's the sound. That's the sound Kwagga makes.
Yeah.
So it was lots of fun to see them that day. And look, that stadium full and packed like it was that day was a great experience. And I can imagine a few weeks ago with the Bok game, it was just as good.
Ja, binne ons het voorheen 'n bietjie gepraat oor die Springbokspan. As jy moet gaan kyk na die volgende World Cup, as jy kyk na die huidige span, wie sien jy? Wie gaan dit maak tot na die volgende World Cup toe?
You know what? We didn't think that Willie or Dwayne were going to make the last World Cup. And they kept going, and Dwayne certainly showed what he could do and he played a massive role. Willie's still going.
Yeah.
I was in the press conference where they were talking about Willie and, he wasn't selected for that first game against the All Blacks. But Russie basically said, no, we want to get him to 100. Part of me goes, of course, when someone's been such a stalwart, especially to be a box centurion is, I mean, there's a special group of players that are box centurions. So you definitely want to help get him there. And I think Willie's been very good for the Bulls since he's been there. I mean, his link play and putting guys away, he is so good. But that's the game he needs to play. He needs to be running onto the ball and putting guys into space and creating for the guys around him. If it's going to be a kicking game, then that's not his style. And then he kind of gets lost and, he's not that, I wouldn't even call him a typical fullback. I mean, he's someone who runs into the line and creates for others, almost like a fly half does. So I suspect he's not going to make it to the next World Cup. Fussy, man, I mean, he kind of half disappeared for a couple of years, but he's really come back with a vengeance, and I'd love to see that. It would be nice. Okay, there's Willemse, of course, who's, from what I understand, going to be playing in the next few weeks for the Stormers.
He's back,
So that's good news. I saw an interview with John Dobson talking about how they're going to fit Libbok, Willemse, and my favorite radio station, SFM, into my new favorite radio station, into the 10. And it seems like Sasha has kind of put his neck on the line and said, fly half. That is my position. I want to play fly half. And you can understand that, having started for the box a couple of times. But of course, Libbok, undoubtedly his best position is fly half. I think when he played fullback, he got lost a bit, but he is a creator. I would like to see Willemse playing 12. I think he's played enough, he's strong, he's creative, he's got a step. Because if you've got someone like Warwick Galant, who can play fullback, then I don't know who stands out for me in terms of 12 for the Stormers. So, look, I mean, Sasha can certainly play 12 as well.
Yeah, but then you've got Duplessis as well from the Stormers.
Yeah. I mean, it's good problems to have.
He's like a young John de Villiers for me.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Dit gaan baie interessant wees. Wie gaan volgende World Cup toe?
I mean, in terms of scrum halves, Reinach and de Klerk, I don't know, possibly not. But I mean, Williams, Hendrikse, Van der Berg, Nohamba, if they can sort whatever issue out, they got to sort out. Because he is that versatile guy who during a game can move from fly half to scrum half. But man, who knows who's going to emerge in the next couple of years?
That's what I'm saying.
And there's always one or two guys within a year or two of a World Cup suddenly comes through and makes a World Cup squad. Think of Herschel Jantjies. I mean, he suddenly came out of nowhere in the year before the 2019 World Cup, had a great year for the Stormers in Super Rugby, scored that great try against Australia, and was on the bench in the Currie Cup final. Currie Cup, you see, I've got that on the brain. In the World Cup final. And he didn't even go to the last World Cup. And we took 4 scrum halves. And he wasn't one of them. So, just lots of talent, lots of talent. And I know, having been to as many sort of school rugby festivals as you have been recently, I mean, you must be amazed at the talent that you see.
Daar is ongelooflike talent aan buitekant. Maar weer eens, as ek nou dink na die forwards, en dan dink ek net so uit my kop uit, as jy kyk na die mannetjie wat vir die agterman speel vir die Bulle, Hannekom. Hannekom, wat is
that try he scored last week. I mean, honestly, when he scored that, I just clapped. Because you can't do anything other than just applaud a brilliant move, and then that turn of speed. straight into the corner.
Yeah.
The quicker they cap him, the better, because otherwise Wales is going to cap him. Because his grandmother's Welsh.
Is it?
Yeah, and he could, I've already heard them talking about getting him somewhere or another.
Okay.
So they need to cap him quick.
Ja, ek dink Rassie, ek dink na hierdie championship gaan daar 'n bietjie meer manne gebruik word. Want soos jy sê, die opportunities is daar vir ander unies en ander lande wat ons spelers soek. So ja, maar ek dink ons is 'n ongelooflike goue era. Gelees wat Dick Mallet gesê het. Hy sê since he was there, this is the golden age of Springbok rugby en dit is verseker so. Dis ek nou gesê en daai lys van 1 tot 15 is daar 6 tot 7 spelers wat kan start en hoe lekker is dit nie?
I mean, you think back to the days where and it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I hate to say it, but those 2 years of Alistair Coetzee, there were players playing that I thought, wow, I mean, here's a Springbok. And you look back on it now and you say, how was that possible?
Yeah.
And I don't want to take it out on any specific player or not. I mean, if you get picked, and you're going to play. Like, who wouldn't?
Exactly.
You're a Bok for life.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But considering that you're leaving some of the players you're leaving out now, that would make it into any other Bok team.
Any other world, any other team, any other country, they will make it.
It is amazing. We are blessed. And, you know, every other sport in this country could really, I say take a leaf out of rugby's book in terms of the school structure, because let's be honest, that's what's creating those players. I mean, I would, however, like to see the club rugby level be stronger, because I think players do go missing after school.
Yes.
I mean, you're probably seeing some of the guys playing second team at DHS that, given a couple of years down the line, especially with a bit of more growth, because some guys only grow 18, 19, 20. They've got the skills, they just aren't quite big enough. They just aren't getting that opportunity. But if they did, unfortunately, you didn't make Craven Week. You don't get a contract out of school. Now you need to make the decision of, do I get a job? And if you do get a job, you don't have time to train. Going to play club rugby is a real commitment. I mean, it probably costs you money to play club rugby. You know, so unless your parents are saying, okay, you've got a couple of years, you know, work part-time, go play club rugby, we're backing you. Some guys don't have that opportunity. Now you get called by some club overseas to earn a few bucks. As a young lighty, you're going to say, oh, of course, like I can earn money playing rugby. So there's definitely, I mean, Marcel Coetzee, he didn't get a contract. He didn't make Craven Week, playing for Port Natal. Went to play for Collegians, and through there made it. But you need the club players, you need to tell them, or at least show them, this is the structure. This is how, if you play here and do that, you can achieve this. We as Sharks coaches are going to keep a constant eye on club rugby. We're going to have someone at every match. We're going to review footage, and we're going to invite guys for practice at least. Just knowing you could get an invite to a practice could just keep you going for a while.
At least an eye on you. Yeah, Brendan, a couple of years ago when I was still playing, we played on a Friday night. Then you play with Oak like Bismarck du Plessis just came from injury. And at Crusaders, we had a time where we had John Dysel, SP Marais, Marco Wenzel. So whenever you didn't play, that was when Jake's time was here. But I would believe if you take now the youngsters from under 21, we're back on.
Okay, we are back thanks to the technical team behind the scenes. Certainly doing things I could never do. But since then, the Sharks have kicked a penalty and the Lions have scored a try. It is 10-7 and we're into the 67th minute. The Sharks are in their own 22. The ball has come out the back and it looks like, no, it's a penalty to the Sharks. Lions offside. They're going to enjoy getting some relief from this.
Ja, Brendan, lyk vir my daar's 'n hele paar veranderinge gemaak aan die nuwe se kant as ek so na die nommers kyk. Ja, is Trevor Nkani ook op vir die Sharks. Sal nooit daai smaal vergeet nie. En sy mooi dance moves na die World Cup nie. So ja.
So Niku Steyn scoring for the Lions in the 57th minute. That level matters. It's 7 apiece. I presume Nahamba kicked the conversion. And since then, the Sharks have taken the lead again through Masuku with a penalty.
ja, klomp veranderings gemaak aan die Leeu se kant en aan die Sharks se kant. So ja, die laaste 13 minute van 2024 se Currie Cup finaal.
Richardson to Grobler. Out to James Venter, who makes his way up to the halfway line.
The Caterpillar.
There it is again. Davids on the halfway line, kicks the box kick. Ethan Hooker running up to Makwane. Tackles him, goes backwards. Niku Steyn cleans up, passes back inside. Lions just outside their own 22. Looks like that ball's out.
Ja.
Until it wasn't.
Ja.
Niku Steyn kicks it downfield. Hendrickson takes it easily. He goes off his right. Oof. He beats Makwane. Jared Cairns takes him down. But the Sharks up to the 10-meter line. Davids to Corneral. Support from Chituka. And Yakane goes over the ball. Davids. The Sharks building phases. Davids passes behind Richardson to Masuku. To Esterhazen, who passes to Hendrickson. A bit behind him. Lost a bit of momentum. He is tackled on the 10-meter line. Davids to Corneral. He's tackled. Looks like David's lining up for another box kick. He goes up into the sky. Hooker chasing down again, but Nahamba takes it very easily. And he fakes the kick. And a big smile.
Hier word iets raak gesien hierso op hierdie wedstryd. Hier's iets gewees, die ref het
So
iets gewys.
this should be interesting. I didn't see anything, but let's see what they're looking at. Looks like Hooker's looking a bit tired. I suppose chasing these kicks, especially as a winger, you wouldn't normally do them as a center. Could probably take quite a bit out of you.
Dis hierdie tackle daarso van die loskop
Ooh,
reserve.
interesting.
So dit lyk vir my Duncan ja, Morgan Odea wat vervang is hierso.
So the head on the chin of Hendrickson.
Ja, hy dip die head.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't give more than a penalty there.
Ja.
I mean, it's certainly no force. Hendrickson is the one running into him.
Ja, die probleem is daarso wat hy sê wat se naam sy kop afgesak. So ek glo nie dit kan meer as 'n geel kaart nie. Ek sal sê 'n penalty vir die Sharks. Gaan 'n geel.
And it's going to be a yellow. I mean, it was very minimal contact. It was almost the top of his head on Hendrickson's chin. And you see, that's an example where I say there's no way that so that's Jean Skuman with the yellow card, the replacement prop. There's no way he did that on purpose. I mean, he just dipped his head slightly, and he was dipping. I mean, it certainly benefits the Sharks, but I just don't like to see situations where something that was completely unintentional could cost the Lions the game.
Ja, ek stem heeltemal saam met jou. Daai vir my was nou nie, daar is nou nie doodsake gewees daai nie. Hy het net sy kop afgedruk. Maar ja, weer eens John Skuman wat nou onlangs terugkom van oorsee af, wat hom aangesluit het nou by die Leeu's. En ja, jy het gepraat van die langer skoppe, Brendan, daarso is dit nou. Daar gaan John en Hendricks nou paal toe.
Well, exactly. You did suggest that just now. When I think Masuku is very accurate from closer in, but if you don't quite have that distance and you try to force it, then it often goes to the right. So, someone like Hendricks who has a bigger boot won't have to force it as much.
Ja, hy kom onlangs van die Leeu's af, so hy ken die season, hy ken die veld, so ja, goeie skop.
It looks like a very good kick. And Hendrickson has slotted it. What a kick from the former Lions fly half / center / fullback. Also another versatile player.
Ja.
Sometimes a curse, but sometimes a blessing.
Ja, nee. Nee, verseker baie goeie spelers. Soos ek gesê het, hy kan inval op 'n paar posisies op die veld.
10 minutes left to play.
Ja.
13-7 to the Sharks. And of course, the Lions are down to 14 men for most of the rest of the match. Chituka beats a couple. He's tackled. David's digging for the ball. Wonder if they might bring Meyer on at some point. Another box kick from the little left-footed scrum half.
That's a groot ding.
There's a big hit on one of the Lions players, but they go forward. Steyn to Nohamba, flat ball. Looks like that was Skuman. He goes blindside this time.
Knock on.
It looks like it's gone forward. Looks like it's Morne Brandon.
Ja, Morne Brandon wat laas naweek daai 80 meter 3 gedruk het. Teen die Vrystaat in die semifinaal. Oh,
The pass from Marius Lowe to Morne Brandon. You know, it's interesting, as I say, Brandon. I know my parents were considering calling me Brandon,
Yeah.
my mother, but then she thought because my pa's Afrikaans
Yeah.
and almal is, yeah, Brendan. It sounds slightly better than Brandon. So, but it's difficult to say Morne Brandon.
Yeah,
You know, you kind of have to roll all the R's. Vincent Shituka, very good performance from the Sharks skipper. Enjoying his time down in Durban these days, joined by his brother a few months ago. And they are now eligible to play for the Springboks,
ja.
having served their time and being South African citizens.
Ja, ek dink dit kan ek nie meer ver wees dat een van hulle dalk 'n oproep gaan kry van Rassie se kant af nie. Maar twee van die manne wat regtig hard gewerk het die laaste paar jaar en dit sal wel verdien wees as hulle daai geleentheid kry.
The Pumas are slipping.
Dit was 'n slipping ja. Ja, scrums wat bietjie beter lyk op hierdie oomblik. Daar gaan nie.
Oh, interesting scrum there, and it's gone the Lions' way. Interesting.
Jo,
Saying the
daai
Sharks pulling out there.
wie's terug op die veld? Morgan O'Deer.
Maybe Skuma sacrificed himself on purpose.
Ja, like it. Wat 'n impak. Wat 'n impak het hierdie man nie vandag op hierdie wedstryd nie. Ja, die Sharks het nie kanse vat nie. Hulle gaan verseker gaan vir die 7 punte hierso.
Nohamba is going to kick to the corner. Conditions have gotten increasingly difficult.
Ja.
Little stab kick from Sanele. And there, nice view
Ja,
of it.
kan jy net sien. Kan jy mooi klim onder hom in. Nee, dit is die donker kuns. As die donker kuns van voorspeel wat ek vir jou nou gesê het, Brendan, daar so is die dark art of rugby.
A good take in the line out. And it goes straight down to ground. So well defended by the Sharks. That ball looks out to me.
Ja,
Niku Steyn
good curry.
feeds the man on his outside. The Lions are 6 meters out.
Ja,
Can they score? It could possibly be a winning try here. They are 6 points behind. Marius Lowe,
maar dis lou.
good tackle on him.
Ja, soos ek
Again,
voorheen gesê
Steyn.
het, dis 'n paar lywe wat gaan seer wees. Die manne sit en die manne lê.
Steyn weighs up his options. Landberg
again.
takes it forward. Steyn again. He pops it. Oh, Morne Brandon. Can he go all the way? He's 1 meter short. Steyn feeds the man. Is he over? Yes, he
Over.
is. The Lions
No.
have scored in the 75th minute. Sustained pressure from the home side.
Ja. Ja, 'n paar ongelooflike fases opgesit. Elke keer op die corner gekom, mooi gedra daarso. Weer eens helse impak daarso. Steyn wat die manne mooi in die gang kry. En daarso is die eerste, daar's die tweede, 3 van die
Siba Koma,
Ja,
his 9th Curry Cup try. What a time to come onto the field. But again, Niku Steyn, very, very quick service from the base.
ja. Ja, sien maar wat onlangs van die Griekos afgeteken het vir die Leeu's.
So the kick is about 5 meters right of the uprights, and you can probably bet your house on Nohamba converting here.
Hierdie gaan 'n baie interessante laaste 5 minute wees.
And he does just that. The Lions go 1 point clear, 14-13 into the 76th minute. I mean, let's be real. If the Lions do end up winning this, they can probably thank Morne Nordia.
Ja, ja. Nee,
for the
verseker.
penalties he's forced.
Nee, verseker, Morne en die vandag absoluut. Ek dink as hy man of the match is, Brendan, is hy verseker hoog aan bo vir my. Ongelooflike impak.
The Sharks now have to try possibly force a penalty and hopefully kick for goal. Masuku down to the 22, taken by Landsberg. JC Pretorius is on the field. And the caterpillar grows. Nohamba is at scrum half. Kicks it up into the sky. Good chase. Oh, very well taken by Hendrickse. He beats a few tackles. He goes down to ground. Looks like the linesman start in the way there. No? Okay. Oh. That's good hands from the Sharks. Davids to Manu Chituka. Davids back infield.
Dreyer wat die bal dra daar.
Caught a bit behind advantage line. Richardson takes it up. Nice run from the hooker. Masuku to Esterhazen. He goes straight down to ground. Julius on the outside. Oh, and the ball goes forward. He made the half gap.
Ja, 3 minute hierso vir die Sharks om terug te kom. 3 minute. Ja. Lyk my al twee banke is nou leeg. Dink jy daar kan nog impakspelers inkom hier, Brendan? Yes, like it. Die boogeyman wat daar gegaan het, ongelukkig die bal verloor in kontak. Ja, ren 'n lekker hard. Jy kan nou sien, nou val hy daarso in Johannesburg. Oeps.
And is that a sign of things to come for the Sharks?
Ja, die faithful is happy daarso. Oh, ouma.
Has Oma just turned 82?
Ouma 82. Is ouma daar by die game? Ja, sit ouma.
That's what you call a loyal supporter. Out in the rain at 82.
Ja,
Okay, a bit of a stoppage.
hier word nou veranderinge gemaak.
The clock stopped at 77 and 5 seconds.
Die boogeyman se wedstryd is verby. Dit lyk vir Tiaan Meyer is ook op die veld.
And he replaces Julius. Interesting.
Ja, baie. Ja, dit gesê, Tiaan het saam met my in 2008 center gespeel by die Pumas.
Okay.
He's actually a scrum half, but for that small body there, hy's baie sterk.
With only two backs on the bench, I suppose you need someone to be versatile. Okay, the scrum. Is Nordia going to force another penalty here? Is he still on the field?
Ja.
It goes up,
I'm gonna let it
and the referee lets it play. Jonker bangs it downfield. Just the right thing for the Lions to do now. Hendrickse cleans up. He runs the ball outside of his 22. Oh, he gets tackled nicely by Koma, just outside the 22. Davids to Richardson. Richardson goes himself. Places the ball back nicely to Davids. Esterhazen takes it up a few meters. Davids back in field to Richardson. Desperation stakes for the Sharks, 1 point behind.
Ja.
Davids to Masuku, to Fenter.
Oh,
if he had
nice
just
work.
found the man on the outside.
Hy's baie hoog.
Advantage to the Sharks for a high tackle on Fenter.
Hy's baie hoog gewees.
Davids to Masuku. He kicks a little chip over the top, throwing caution to the wind.
Keiter,
And somehow Keita takes it. Oh, Masuku. Oh, the ball goes backwards. He juggled it a bit. Hendrickse cleans up, but still advantage to the Sharks. They might want the penalty at this point.
Ja,
Richardson.
2 minute oor.
Davids to Masuku.
James Venter.
Fenter. Again, Davids. Masuku.
Tiaan.
Nice run. Angled run by Tiaan Meyer, playing at center. Esterhazen. He runs almost over Kuenhorn. Manu Chituka plays it to Grobler. Looks like we've got some Lions on their feet there. And no, it comes back for Davids. Masuku. Meyer feeds Hendrickse on the outside. Hendrickse. Oh, he plays hooker.
Ja,
He gets tackled.
No
Good
supporters.
play from the Sharks.
No supporters.
Maintaining the ball.
No supporters.
No support.
Oh.
And the penalty goes the way of the Lions.
Yes, daar was 'n groot geleentheid, 'n groot geleentheid vir die Sharks. Ja,
Oh man, one pass there could have done it for the Sharks.
ja, jy kan sien daar met Zwakkie waar hy die radio hardop skree 1 minuut. So ja, is this over for the Sharks? 50 seconds. 30 sekondes, Brendan.
Oh, Hooker was isolated there, and I think it was Nahamba that was
Aye.
on his feet there. What can't the little fly half do?
Ja. Ja, wat 'n wedstryd. Wat 'n wedstryd.
And like I said, the Sharks probably would have preferred the penalty
Ja.
because they outplayed the advantage, and a kick could have taken them up to the 22 of the
Jy's
Lions.
heeltemal reg. Jy's heeltemal reg daarso.
You almost might want to knock the ball on purpose there.
100%. Vat die nok, skop uit, probeer die bal dryf, kyk vir nog 'n penalty, gaan paal toe. Ja.
We are into red. It's past the 80-minute mark, and the Lions
Nou die Sharks aan hier met
have a line out on the Sharks' 10-meter line. They just need to secure it.
Oh,
They're mauling it upfield, lengthening the misery for the Sharks here. The Sharks are probably, man, is the ball going to go down to ground? It could be a turnover. Oh, it's come out the way of the
Turnover.
Sharks. Masuku, can you believe it? Esterhazen.
Hier gaan hy,
Oh,
hier gaan hy
almost
nou.
over his head. Henrikse
Jo.
avoids a few players.
Ah!
The ball goes backwards
Yes,
off
Hendricks
a
het daar
Lions
raak
player.
geduik.
Krobler to Richardson. Richardson goes upfield. Davids to Corneral.
Oh,
He runs up. He
Weer
knocks a
een
few
geel-
men out of his
geel-
way.
oh,
And it's a
penalty.
penalty to the Sharks.
wat maak jy nou?
No release.
Wat maak jy nou?
Whoa.
Vir die pale, gaan jy vir die skop vir die kant. Brendan, wat sal jy hier geroep het?
Well, the penalty is just outside the Sharks' 10-meter line. If I had Francois Steyn in my team, I would probably go for the kick.
Wel, ek het 'n klip gekyk so 2 maande terug waar Hendricks die bal geskop het van 60 meter oor
They are at altitude,
aan altitude en hy het dit gedoen op Ellis Park. So
and it looks like the Sharks' Henrikse is going for poles.
ja,
Whoa, what a final.
ja, is dit die regte call? Wat sê jy
Well-
gedoen as jy die kaptein was?
You know what, if you've got someone who can kick that far and he backs himself, you probably need to go for it because it will win the game.
Ja.
Oh, Henrikse lines up. Can he be the hero for the Sharks after having left the Lions literally a few weeks ago? Henrikse kicks it. It's flat.
looks good.
Is it going over?
Looks good.
It's over. Henrikse has won the Curry Cup for the Sharks. Can you believe it? He left the Lions a few months ago, and he has now kicked a 59-meter penalty to win the Curry Cup for the Sharks.
Yes, dis
It
ongelooflik.
is the 9th Curry Cup win for the Sharks in their history, starting in 1990,
Ja,
and they joined the Bulls on 9 since 1990.
ja.
Can you believe it? The Sharks supporters are going wild in the stands, and the Lions supporters and the players are on their knees.
Ai. Yes, wat 'n skop. Wat 'n skop van Hendricks, soos jy gesê het.
Why
Back
did the
yourself
Lions
a
not
gun.
kick the ball out
Yeah.
when they got the ball from the
Oh.
line out?
Yes, wat 'n ongelooflike, wat 'n ongelooflike omkeer daarso. Wat 'n skop. Jaden Hendricks, jy kort 'n standbeeld in Durban. Well done.
I mean, obviously being here in Durban as we are, you might have heard the screaming and shouting in the bar here at Crusaders. What a kick.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, when you're a Lions player and that's flying in the air
Oh.
and there's nothing you can do about it and it's probably going to go over, it must be such a terrible feeling.
Ja. Yes, like it. Dis een wat ek
John
wil
Plumtree,
vergeet nie.
who won the Curry Cup back in the day for the Sharks as a player.
Ja.
Wow, unbelievable. His second stint as coach, of course.
Ja.
Henrikse celebrates. He is a Durban boy after all.
Ja. Ja. Nee, hierdie is een vir die geskiedenis, vir die boeke, vir
Richardson,
die rekordboeke.
Masuku,
Ja.
hugging
Trevor spring
the
even.
fullback. That was the highest Trevor has jumped in ages.
Yes, wat 'n finaal, Brendan. Wat 'n
What
finaal.
a final.
Ja.
it still totally blows my mind that
Daar kom
they...
die moves, daar kom die daar moves, daar kom die daar moves.
Trevor goes, there he goes.
Ja. Ja. Nee, maar daai man gaan vanaand Josie aan die brand dans. Ja.
Oh, goodness gracious me. I mean, for those that haven't seen that, they took the line out fairly well. If the Sharks had jumped in the line out, it was skew.
Ja.
But they didn't,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Ja.
They moved the ball up a couple of meters,
Get out.
and then it started slowing down. It looked like it went down to ground and came out the Shark side. And from then on, they
Yeah.
just moved it downfield, and then back inside, forced the penalty, and the rest is history. Wow, you know, these games that, these low-scoring games can be almost more exciting.
Ja. Ja, weer eens, dit is hoendervleis wat ek hier sit, ek het hoendervleis wat hier aangaan. En weer eens wat net wys die veg, die guts van die Sharks af om terug te kom. En soos jy sê, dit kon oorgewees het as die Leeu's die bal uitgeskop het. Hulle het nie hierdie keer weer eens die bal reggespring vir die Sharks en daar is hulle 2024 Currie Cup kampioene.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, so it's 3 apiece now in the finals against the
Ja,
Lions.
Ja.
So, look at the territory now. It's 50-50
Ja.
eventually.
From 70.
Unbelievable possession, 58 to the Sharks.
Ja.
The Lions had the better of it clearly in the second half.
Ja.
108 ball carries for the Sharks and 80 for the Lions. 103 tackles made, 130 for the Lions. They did close the gap slightly there. Penalties 9 apiece.
Ja.
So both teams were equally guilty of either conceding or good in... I would say that the majority of those 9 from the Lions were probably attempting to steal the ball on the ground. They were very good at that today.
Very, very, very good at that. And yeah, I think the penalties against the Sharks. Morgan on there, scrum.
Scrums and breakdowns.
Yes, baie
Certainly something that didn't go the Sharks' way today.
Ja.
But somehow they made it happen. At the end of the day, the stats mean nothing
Ja.
because the Sharks won by 2 points, and that's all that counts.
Ja, 100% reg, 100% reg. Ja, maar wat 'n daar's die man of the match.
Hendrickse had a solid game, but at the end of the day, if you kick a 59-minute penalty
Ja.
to win the game, well, then that's it. You got to get man of the match.
Ja nee, ek dink hy het die man of the match weggevaar daar van Morgan O'Dea af, maar ja, wel verdien met daai skop.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? And it must be almost bittersweet for him because he was part of the Lions for 3 or 4 years. Obviously, they'll always be close to his heart.
Ja.
But decided to come back to Durban to join his brother. And I do know that, unsurprisingly, the Sharks offered him a contract straight out of school.
Ja.
But he didn't want to play in his brother's shadow. And that's what he actually said.
Ja.
So, you know, he went to the Lions and made his own name.
Yeah.
And you've got to give him credit for that.
100%. Ja, 100%. Maar ja, dink jy wat sy gevoel is daar na Hendriks familie vanaand by hulle huis. Sy boetie wat vanaand speel vir die Bokke. Ja, dis ongelooflik. Ja, ongelooflike speler vir die toekoms.
Carries 17 from him, meters made 169, 2 offloads, 5 passes, 5 kicks from hand. You know, I must say I was surprised when he was selected over Sasha to start against Wales.
Ja.
Because not that he had a bad season, but he had quite a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And he didn't play a lot of rugby for the Lions, and Sasha was raring to go. And I almost thought, well, why play him? Because then Sasha came on, kicked that massive penalty, and then that was just like, from there, he took flight. But you know what? He's taken his opportunity here for the Sharks, and he's going to be in the mix somewhere along the line.
Ja, maar Brendan bygesê ook, ek dink hy's vir my beter op heel agter as op loskakel. Hy's vir my, dit is vir my amper of hy meer die spasie, hy weet wat om met die bal doen, hy het bietjie meer tyd, maar as op 10, met Sasha, dink net as jy vir hom op Sasha op 10 het en jy het hom 15, met fasie wat daar is, wat se tipe diepte het ons dan? Dit is ongelooflik, so ja.
Damian Willemse, who can play multiple positions.
Daar is Galant is daar, nee, daar is nog eens.
I mean, on the wings, obviously Moody and Colby and Arendse and Mapimpi. He's in the latter stage of his career, but he's still playing very good rugby.
Ja. Nee, dit is ja, maar ek wil sê een van die beter finals wat ons gesien het. Ongelooflike baie passie, daar's JP. wat hulle wat voor in die jaar voor in die seisoen wat die coach was.
If you consider the start the Sharks had,
Ja.
and the fact that they fought their way back, had a long run of wins, or at least non-losses, because there was the one draw,
Ja.
and had to play away in their semi-final, away in the final.
Ja.
You know, part of you will say, well, the Lions had the better season, they played better rugby.
Ja.
But for a team to have fought back like that in the pool phase, to win the semi-final in the way they did last week, and then to win away from home in these conditions, all you can do is just say, well done, Sharks.
Ja. Nee, verseker. Soos jy sê, hulle het nie maklikste route gehad nie, maar ja, daar praat hulle met JP nou.
They're trying their best to, but the players are tackling him.
Maar ja, ek weet net weer eens, laas naweek 100 minute gespeel. Vandag weer uitgegraand het op die laaste. Daar is iets weer, en dis wat lekker is om weer te kyk. Hier gebeur iets in KZN weer met die rugby. Dit is weer lekker. As jy gaan kyk na die stadion, die mense kom kyk weer rugby. Dit is wat lekker is. Iets gebeur weer en iets is op die regte pad. So ja, dis ongelooflik.
Well, JP, he's certainly shown what he can do. Last year I commentated on the under-20 final between the Bulls and Sharks.
Ja.
And he was the coach of that team, and they won the tournament and were unbeaten through the whole season. But one thing I did notice, Ethan Hooker was the captain of that team. And I interviewed him after the game. And just the way, his maturity and the way he answered questions, I said to myself, this guy's going to make it.
Ja.
Because I could just tell. I could see the way he played, but the way he thought about the game.
Ja.
I thought, and within a short space of time, he was there.
Ja, 100%.
So lots of hugging going on. I'm sure they will be lifting the famous Sir Donald Curry trophy soon. You know, just talking about trophies, it really is a beautiful trophy, isn't
Oh, it's
it?
a
There are
beautiful
some
trophy.
ugly trophies out there currently, but the Curry Cup is just on another level.
En dis die lekker gedeelte daarvan, die history. Die history. As ek sê, ja, die Curry Cup was dalk bietjie afgewater die laaste tyd, maar daar's vandag weer wat ek gesê het, hoe omwindend is dit nie wees om hierdie Curry Cup te sien nie, daai waarde van daai beker te speel. Dit is ongelooflik.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the Lions players, it's always tough being on the losing end. I mean, in terms of being on the losing end in finals, I mean, there are few teams that know that more than the Sharks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just think of the Super Rugby days and all the finals they played in, and they will never end up winning Super Rugby,
Yeah.
which, considering that they were South Africa's best team through the Super Rugby years in terms of placing
Yes.
and knockout. I mean, I still sometimes have nightmares about that 07 final. I was in the
I was
stands,
there as well. Oh,
and when I watch it again, I think to myself, okay, Steyn misses the conversion, which would have taken us 2 points out and they couldn't have won. But then he misses that kick to line, which would have, he could have just kicked it straight out.
Yeah.
And that would have been that.
It's funny, I just signed on that day, I signed my contract at the Sharks. On that final. Signed for the
Oh,
Sharks,
really,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
I won't forget that game. And then Jacob van der Westhuizen and celebrating, standing on that.
Oh, I tell you.
That was a very, very, very hard pill to swallow for the Sharks supporters that day.
Yeah, it was. And you know, that was the start of the Bulls dynasty.
Yeah.
I mean, the players that came through there,
Oh.
we ended up winning the World Cup that year.
Yeah.
Talking about World Cups and Curry Cups, the Cheetahs, have you noticed, 07, 19,
Curry Cup,
and
World
23
Cup.
Curry Cup winners the same year as the Curry
Yeah.
Cup. So, yeah. But the Sharks have lost a fair amount of finals over the years in all different competitions.
Yeah.
So for them to get one, you know what? I'm not going to complain about it.
No.
We've had enough finals where we've lost,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that is now 9 wins from 19 finals.
Yes.
I mean, the fact the Sharks have made 19
Yeah.
finals since 1990.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
that is a
incredible
lot.
stats,
I mean, that is way more than 50% of the Sharks have made the finals.
Yeah.
So that's now 9 from 19. Like I said, 19 finals from 35 years. The Lions are on 5 from 12 since 1990. And yeah, it's 3 apiece in finals between the two teams in the 6 finals. And that average is going to come down a bit the Lions actually had a better average in the finals against the Sharks because they had those two big wins.
Yeah.
And that is now 15, I call it 15 and a half
Yeah.
away victories in 34 finals, or I suppose 35 finals, since 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the average winning score, by the way, was before this game 27.7 points in a final for the winner and 17.9 for the
Yeah.
loser. So that will come down slightly
Yeah.
with this. And there you see, since 1990, the Bulls have won 9, the Sharks now 9, Province 6, Cheetahs 6, Lions 5, Pumas 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible stats. Yeah.
Overall record, a bit to go to reach Western Province, 34, Bulls 25, Lions 11. But I mean, the Sharks are on 9 now, so
Yeah,
a few years they
yeah,
could,
exactly.
could reach. And it's amazing how, for the first 100 years, it literally took 100 years for the Sharks to win their first Currie Cup.
Sure.
And my dad always talks about that game at Loftus.
Yeah.
It was his father's first ever professional rugby match.
Yeah.
Because we happened to be on holiday there
Yeah.
in Pretoria visiting my Oma and Opa. And yeah, I mean, that game, winning the first Currie Cup, and the rest is history from that point
Yeah.
onwards, you know. Craig Jameson lifting the
Ah,
trophy,
Tony Watson
Joel
scored in the
Stransky,
corner.
Tony Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been more than not, it's been fun times since for Shark supporters who were never quite there before that.
And that's what I'm saying. If you look at the years before, the last 2 years, things didn't go so well. But now for me, spending a little bit more time there, watching how they're training, and especially how to see they're playing the last 2 games, I could feel there's something happening. There's definitely something happening.
Okay, so your last thoughts about the Bok game tonight? What do you want to see from the game? I mean, yes, we want to win, but what would you like to see us achieve or players
Yeah, I
specific?
think firstly, we don't want any injuries, going into
Yes.
injuries and that stuff. And I just want the youngsters who get a chance to go out there and express themselves, you know. For me, I believe we will win comfortably. It's not going to be easy, but I still believe we got enough ammunition to win comfortably. But for the youngsters, they must just go out there and have fun. Like a Hendricks, he didn't play in a long time. He must go play and show them why he's there. If you look at Marco van Staden, Thomas Natoy, Premiership Player of the Year in England.
Really, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Jan van Graan's done very good work with Bath.
Yeah. I mean, Hendrik Wessels, Steenekamp, Vincent Koch, Etzebeth, Erik Louw, Kwagga Smit, Jaden Hendricks, Flippen, Mani Limmel. Kyk net wat gaan opkom vandag.
Ja.
So ja, dit is ongelooflik.
When the Sharks can put together their best team coming up this season,
Yeah.
it's
Scary.
it's now the time for them to show what they're made of.
It's scary if you think
Because
what's coming.
because if they can put that team on the field, and I suspect they're going to concentrate on the Champions Cup,
Yeah.
all the investment and all the build-up over the last 3 or 4 years has led to this.
Yeah.
There was lots of criticism last year about buying players, this, that, and the next thing, and they weren't winning. But what people didn't realize, the Boks only were available from December.
Yeah.
There were a lot of the Boks were injured during the World Cup
Yeah.
and didn't play for months before that. It was stop and start constantly. You never know which team was going to play. And once the team was set from around March, and when also Masuku took over at Flower,
Yeah.
and you had a consistent team, they hardly lost a game from that point onwards. So I think that's a sign of things to come.
No, definitely. Dit gaan 'n scary fort wees as jy dink wat met terugkom. En ewen nou met Kolisi wat nou terug is by die Sharks. Ja, dit gaan baie goed wees. So ja. Sien uit daarna.
Yeah, no, I do. And it's great to support teams that are doing well, especially the Springboks. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I've always been, when I started initially supporting the Sharks back in the 90s, very provincialistic, Sharks.
Yeah.
But over the years, at the end of the day, it's about the Springboks.
Yeah.
And if things need to happen for the Boks to win, fair enough. But I'd also like the Sharks to start showing what we can do. And I think with the money that's come into the franchise, it's time now. Whole 8 and vase.
En weet jy wat ek nou like? Ek sien dit nou hierso, so al die youngsters wat nou voor die gespeel het in die Currie Cup, voor die Springbokke teruggekom het. Daar's Nick Hatton. Hy was die kaptein gewees in die begin van die Currie Cup. So hulle almal is afgevlieg, almal is deel van die groep.
Ja.
En dit lyk nou vir my hy gaan die trofee lig saam met Vincent hierso. So wat 'n besondere stukkie is dit.
I mean, very few players get to do that first trophy lift because it's generally the captain.
Ja.
And if they have made the decision that he captained for the first half of the competition, that he can do that, I think that is an unbelievable gesture.
Ja.
And that maybe tells you what the team is about.
Ja.
So, it's almost
Yeah,
time
see, there they
for
go.
them to lift the trophy. I know you can't see what we're watching, but just in that mind's eye of yours, Vincent Chituka and Nick Hatton are going to lift the Currie Cup trophy. In 1, 2, there you go.
Yeah.
What a lift.
There's your champions.
Hatton almost dropped it on Chituka. But there you go. The Sharks are the Currie Cup champions for 2024, their ninth
Yeah.
title. The first coming in 1990 only.
Ja.
But, well, eventually, it was a wonderful afternoon eventually. We got going a bit late,
Yeah.
but you know what? It was worth it.
Definitely.
And this was our first presentation from Octafield. We thoroughly enjoyed our time. The final huddle was just before the match. Then we did our, I want to call it, join us for the match
Yeah.
commentary.
Ja.
And if you found value in this, please let us know. Tell us where you were watching from and tell us how you enjoyed the game and the broadcast. We will hopefully be doing this on a weekly basis based on the match of the week. Obviously, the match of the next week will be the Boks versus the Pumas in Nelspruit. Stay tuned to our various social media channels to see where we will be doing the final huddle from. We'd like to move our way around, but we've certainly enjoyed our time here at Crusaders, and thanks so much to the management of the club for giving us use of this facility. And Ronnie, any last words?
No, what a privilege to be in, and thank you so much for it. It was amazing to watch with you, with all your knowledge as well, sharing this final with you. Brendan, I want to say thank you to you and your team.
Thank you for your experience and your knowledge in terms of professional rugby and especially in the front row. I couldn't have done it without you. And long may this continue.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely, when there's another chance, I would like to jump into it. It was amazing. And yeah, thanks to Ronaldo Botma for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, it's a privilege to be here. Thanks again.
Ronaldo, get well soon. I hope that leg and that foot heals up quickly. Thanks so much for the opportunity. This has been a presentation of Octafield. And until next time, we can't wait to see you.